Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to one more show match out of Alpha X. This time, we're going to see Cuddlebear playing versus B. So, of course, if you're here for Alpha X, I'm sure you're gonna support our boy Cuddlebear for this match. And I'm hereby joined by my co-caster, F equals MA. Here he is.
Hey.
And I'm going to show you his name because yeah, here it is, real quick. And I'm going to go also into picking the first map for today, which is going to be Golden Wall. It's going to be a best of 9, so lots of action to go through. It's going to be, I hope, a very nice series. Yes, sorry, I was
No. I do that all the time where I'll be in the middle trying to do something and then like I'll get distracted and like not finish the sentence, so I understand completely.
Yep, and now it's time to do this, and where are you, mate? Here we are. Okay, we're ready. We're getting into our first game for today. The lobby is going through. We're waiting for my mate here, my co-caster, to join the lobby. Did you invite a ride to you?
Yes, there we go.
Here it is.
Perfect.
Nice. Sorry for the little bit of a wait. Of course, it was going on for a little while before we were getting into this first game, but our players were a little bit late, so we had to wait a little bit before they could get in here. But here we are finally for this wonderful series. So it's going to be a ZVT, and yeah, you know, Zer versus Terran. I know I always say this, but like it's the OG matchup. Like, let's all be honest.
Yeah. Another thing that's really interesting about this match. Well, let's introduce our players and then we can talk a little bit about them.
Of course, mate.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I will start with this guy here in the bottom left hand corner. I know I'm a little bit biased, but it's a great Terran player, and he's already going for something very interesting here on Golden Wall. He's the green Terran. He plays for Alpha X, and he is Cuddlebear.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of Golden Wall, representing the 3D clan, it is none other than your Blue Zerg B. So it's interesting. I actually watched Cuddlebear do this yesterday. I was casting some of his matches in TSL 5, and I think he did. Whoa! Actually, sending a third worker this time.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty committed.
Yeah, he was doing two. He did 2 against Bly, and we'll see if he drops the third. Okay, yeah, there it is. So yesterday, when he did against Bly, I believe Bly actually scouted it and was able to kill one of the workers off, and it kind of threw the whole thing down. This time, I think with the 3, he's going to get at least 2 of them up, and actually, he is not going to get side of this. Is the Overlord going to scout it? Not quite. I think Cuddlebear is in the clear here.
I mean, it's not like a very easy spot to actually. Oh my god, it was so close to scout.
It was so close.
It was insanely close. But I mean, like, there are not so many places in which you can send your overload before actually being able to send your overload through the map and still grant yourself a normal scout. So Cuddlebear is going to send 2 SCVs and 1 Marine already in the third base of B. And yeah, this is looking kind of not nice for the Zer player.
Yeah, I think looking at this, B has already started mining out the back side, so I'm wondering if he's just going to sacrifice the hatchery at the front.
Looks like he's sacking it, yes.
Ooh. going for a quick layer as well. Using the gas that normally would have been spent on speed to get that fast layer. I wonder, do you think we're going to see like a Nidus into the main, or
could be a possibility. This queen will not live for a lot. It looks like the Marines are getting a lot of damage over here. Of course, as you were saying, an early lair, Roach Warren, all these points towards a very early Nidus play to grant yourself a spot back into this game and be doesn't know why you second overload. Change direction. Oh.
It was so close to scouting
Yeah.
too. I can see why that would be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, it was probably the most unlucky overload I've ever seen. Like, it was so close, so incredibly close. We're going to change servers between every single game to grant a little bit of equity.
Yeah.
Of course.
He, of course, playing from Russia.
Russia, yes.
Yeah.
He's Russian. B, I don't know why you hate me so much.
You hate me so much. Kozan knows what's up.
No. Thank you for chiming in, Kozan. Glad to have you here. And let me join Alpha Pro Series channel here as well. This game is going to be loser's pick from now onwards. Gonna be a best of 9, so lots of time for every single map, pretty much. Any map can be chosen just 2 times, no more than that, of course, to make sure if it comes to game 9, every single map will be played at least once. Of course, if it comes to games 1, we're probably going to see twice Nightshade and Eternal Empire, just because reasons, but we will see if it will come to that. Oh, it's a best of 7, not a best of 9? Really? Nah, no way.
Well, while we confirm that, it looks like B just messaged me. We are going to be doing Everdream as the next map. I can go ahead.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Oh, are you doing the lobby yourself? Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure, yeah.
So, Everdream it is. And, well, it is the choice of B this time. And it is a pretty easy map to get on free bases. I've seen B play very aggressive playstyles in the past. I've cast a lot of series out of B. So...
Actually, it looks like B might have made his own lobby. No, okay, no, here he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So it could be also like some kind of metagaming, making your opponent think you're going to go through a very standard macro opener and then hit him with the rush. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, who knows? I like that. I'm like, you know what they say about Italians, that they just use their hands while talking a lot, and I like that my camera doesn't see what my hands are doing. Like,
yeah, you don't want to play into the stereotype.
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Well, here we go, kicking it off on Everdream. I can go ahead and introduce our first player. This is your Alpha X representative, sporting the color green, our Terran hero, none other than Cuddlebear.
And in the top right hand corner of Everdream, you're looking instead at the base of the blue Russian Zerg playing for 3D Clan. This is B.
Now I wonder, obviously the lineups haven't been submitted anywhere, but we'll see. Alpha X is playing against the 3D Clan, I believe Thursday?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think it's Thursday.
So, yeah, I'm checking my calendar right now because I believe I'm covering it.
Could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm not super sure. Yeah, it's a great clan, by the way. Of course.
Yeah. So, no, they did change the date of the matches, but yeah, it looks like it is Thursday. So yeah, it's fun that we're getting a teaser of Alpha X versus 3D Clan here today.
Yeah. Also, I think like B is one of the players we have seen the most in our Alpha X Pro series. I remember a lot of great series between some of our guys against this great player. Really entertaining both to cast and to watch, of course. Really a nice guy. Overall, let's see if he's able to pull off a great series here against Cuddlebear as well. I remember this one series, like B versus Art, that has gone, like, I think there were 4 games that went past the 40-minute mark. It was just that good of a series. Like, I loved every second of it, but of course it was kind of tiring to cast.
Yeah, well, and draining for the players to play too.
Yeah, exactly, and it was very back and forth for that reason. But overall, great series. I think B came out on top in that occasion, but not by a lot. I think it was a 5-4 victory. Of course, the Reaper will start the usual dance with the lanes. Will get 1 kill. The Reaper tax has been paid, and I will try to get away with some more scouting. Maybe getting a Crypt Tumor as well. Who knows? Here he comes for the Tumor, and he doesn't.
Just missing it. Yeah. B actually deciding to go for the triangle orientation of his bases here, not wanting to deal with fighting against the SCV and the Reaper at all.
Yeah, but what do you think are the implications of this? I think like it's a very bold choice.
Yeah, I wonder if this means he wants to be on the aggressive, perhaps. You know, obviously having the position here in the left, this triangle means that you can be, you know, the Terran players can abuse medevacs a little bit more, make it harder for you to fight against. So perhaps B wants to kind of keep Cuddlebear in his base, do something like that, but only time will tell.
It also leaves him quite vulnerable to some drop plays, exploiting, of course, the ramp between the cliff between the main and the third base, allowing himself to be quite more mobile than his opponent. Because that's the reason most players don't go for the triangular pattern in ZVT, but it also means it can at least predict a little bit better the intentions of his opponent. He can predict that cliff being abused, so let's see how he behaves from here now. The Liberator is on the way, but Overlord with Overlord speed is gonna grant B all the scouting information he needs while keeping his flying supply depot alive.
One of those flying supply depots poking into the main of Cuddlebear and getting pushed back out by those Marines. Liberator just about to finish for Cuddlebear, and looks like it is currently, well, it's sitting in the main. We'll see where it heads. It's going to be the natural of B or the main.
And interesting also that B is really committing into destroying those rocks at the ramp. He wants to make sure to stop any tank push from coming as soon as possible. I feel like. Where's the Liberator? Oh, here it is.
It is
here
now
it
at the top by the
Yeah, B will see it coming, but yeah, he is reacting on time with his Queen as well. I don't think this Liberator will get too much damage at all. The second Queen is getting into the battle as well. B forgetting about this Queen a little bit, almost loses one. He's going to get the Liberator without getting any damage. That's very good out of the Zero player.
Yeah, very good pulling back of the wounded Queen before it dies. Yeah, very, very well done. Some creep getting cleared up over here by the Hellions.
Yeah, B leaving this direction a little bit exposed, but the Queens will keep those Hellions out of B's alone. Another hatchery on the way to B.
Yeah, and coming down for the high yield gas as well. Okay, maybe not. Waiting to clear out, he sees the Hellions.
Yeah, this is going to be bloody though. A lot of lanes were caught into this battle. Finally, the Queens are shooing this Terran army away. But it looks like Cuddlebear will indeed not mourn for his losses for a lot longer. He's preparing for his push, or at least for his drops. He has a healthy marine production supported by tanks and medivacs, and he's getting ready to do something a little bit more threatening.
Yeah, I mean, we have +1 infantry attack and armor, as well as that combat shield on its way, and I'm wondering if once that finishes, he's getting positioned here, and he's going to run in as soon as those upgrades complete. Pretty strong timing.
Meanwhile, B is preparing for a counter with his links. It's not going to be very easy. Cuddlebear left some Hellions back home. The tank is joining the battle while the Marines are steaming on creep. No pain speed is done yet. It's almost done, but not quite. Of course, the tank is trying to focus those Banelings as soon as they come into range, while the Marines are surviving also the friendly fire. B with a signature unit already starting up the first infestors.
Yeah. B also trying to do a little bit of an Overlord Ling drop into the main of Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear does spot it and is able to clear it out. Doesn't get the Overlord, and the Overlord keeps a couple of the Lings alive. But these Marines are continuing to push in here and trying to deny and kill this high yield base. And I think they're definitely going to get it at this point.
And I don't think the cost paid by Cuddlebear will be that high as well. These Marines are quite in a safe position. That one tank will fall in the end, but so many Banelings are also dying to this. And the focus fire by Cuddlebear was pretty sick. This is a great engagement from the Terran player, who's now shooting at Queens as the Zerg player. You never want to be fighting Marines with Queens. At this stage of the game at least, these Queens are going to be useful for something else. And once Marines are steaming up on creep, the infestors of course are going to be very important, but a preemptive spread from Cuddlebear of course is not gonna allow B to get any good fungal growth on his Cryo Army. 6 drones have fallen down as well. B is preparing for the surround on the army of Cuddlebear. One tank will fall down, the rest of the army is well positioned, and no infestors are yet into this fight, because they are of course fearing of the tanks, of doing any more damage. Adrenal Glands and Ultra Cavern is on the way for B, who's currently expanding on the other side of the map. But yeah, this has been quite bloody for the Russian Zerg.
Yeah, losing a lot of stuff, and B doesn't have a huge bank here, so he's not going to be able to just start spamming those Ultralisks. Losing those bases is going to really hurt B and keep him from getting production of those higher tier units from going. You have 1 Ultralisk in production now, and currently we're left with only 2 Infestors at this time.
Cuddlebear keeping track of his armies, of his opponent's army position quite consistently. I really like that he's not taking any chances. He always knows what is going on. He doesn't want to rush mules. He knows that his cans are going to be much more useful at keeping track of the army of B. This time a little bit of an strike squad from the Zerg is going to come over here to intercept those Marines. It's not gonna be easy. Banelings are trying to collapse as well, but it looks like one more steam and some great focus firing will preempt Cuddlebear, will prevent Cuddlebear from losing too much armor. Right now, the Terran player is maxed and he's still sieged at his opponent's doorstep.
Yeah, Cuddlebear moving a command center out, going to turn it into a planetary fortress at the high yield gas zone. Baneling's trying to come in, getting okay connections, but not really what B wanted. Some great splits by Cuddlebear there.
Keeping the Marauders on front as well. Very good move. Because now it's time for B to try to do something of his own. The focus fire on the Banelings has been incredible from the tanks. Not a lot of them are going to survive, but it's still going to be enough to almost clear out his bio army completely. Now it's time for the Ultras to do the rest, but Cuddlebear knows that these Ultras have bought a lot of time for his opponent and he doesn't need to rush.
Yeah, there's quite a few number of Banelings coming in here, and with these 2 Ultralisks, there's going to be some damage. Banelings running into the mineral line. Okay, picking up 12. Pretty decent hit there. Ultras still going to town on these Marauders, and the army is getting cleared up, like Cuddlebear's army is getting cleared up as main. But on the other side of the map, Cuddlebear's pushing in, denying +3 attack here. Tank sieging up and laying siege on his opponent's base as well. Looks like both players finally having to leave, the defender's advantage, allowing rallied units to clear up any remaining forces.
Yeah, but that is quite the advantage right now for B, who was able to double expand and to establish 2 more archeries worth of economy. He's still not gonna be having like a powerful economy as much as the Terran because of mules, of course, but only now Cuddlebear is expanding to this planetary fortress on this 4th base location, and it's going to be quite a while before he has a more powerful economy. He's putting a perfect fungal. He's going to eat a lot of the marauders, and these banelings have a very easy life granting themselves the connections they were looking for. Drop, a little bit of a failure for Cuddlebear, who is right now struggling a lot to get back into this game after almost completely defeating his opponent.
Yeah, B has done an amazing job of holding on, climbing back into this game. Yeah, with these Ultralisks out and all of the upgrades that he has, I think B's in a pretty decent spot. We do have a Spire coming out, Corruptors, of course, spawning to make sure those medevacs don't survive, and +1 attack is coming down for those Corruptors as well. Drop in the main here is going to start picking up a few units. Not going to get too much done here, with the Ultras and the Lings taking care of the Marines, and then the Corruptors picking up the medevac.
He knows there is no greater spy yet, so he doesn't really have to be too scary. Ultralisks, while being a great defensive unit, cannot really do too much on the aggression unless B gets the perfect fungals, which is something that is pretty hard to do with just 3 infestors.
Yeah, that is.
And without burrow. Oh no, yes, burrow. Okay, yes, burrow.
He does have burrow, yeah. There was, it finally moved. There was a Ling that was burrowed right next to where the 3rd base would have landed. And it finally got up and moved. But we do have a fight here. Nice fungal coming in, holding some units in place, but Marauders coming in from behind to help push those Ultralisks back.
The Corruptors are a little bit of dead weight for now. Like, they can get on top of the Medivacs, but do they have enough time? The Banelings are trying to connect the links, almost getting a full surround. This is a great fungal out of B. It's going to almost completely clear this army. It's not going to be easy to push into this planetary, but the third player is committing for sure. Corruptors trying to get on top of the Medivacs, getting a lot of damage, but the planetary will survive. No caustic spray out of these Corruptors, and I'm not sure if that was the correct play for the Zerg player.
Well, I wonder if perhaps seeing the mines with that army, B was like, okay, I'm just going to keep these Corruptors alive, so that if he needs to later, he can turn them into Brood Lords. Of course, coming up here, we do have a huge Marauder Marine mine hit squad taking out that top left base, while some Lings come into the 3rd base of Cuddlebear. So players doing little pushes and run-bys against one another at the same time. And the Ling's going to go ahead and burrow here. Not going to save them, though. Scan comes down, and the Marines and Marauders will clear them out.
It looks like, after all, Cuddlebear has bought again himself some time to get into a better spot, get his multiple aggressive strike squad on different sides of the map, and start pumping up some ghosts. Of course, without Brood Lords being an issue right now, it is going to be quite a difficult army to face for B, because these Ultralisks are not going to be worth anything once the snipes start coming through. It is going to be just the 3 right now for Cuddlebear, but he's going to be adding up 2 of them at a time. The Corruptors still dead weight, they can get on top of the Medivacs, but Cuddlebear already has 5 of them. I doubt he will ever need too many of them, with the Vipers being a consistent threat. Oh, Ricky the Accidental Swarmos right here for B.
Yeah. Classic, token swarm host just to throw your opponent off.
Yeah. That's always like a very funny move.
Yeah.
Like, also following his adventures is going to be something I'm going to do quite consistently this game. I want to see what it does. Like, Surprise, Swarmos value. Here comes Locust Wave, getting on top of this Marine Bio army, which is going to steam backwards, but it's a very bruised army fighting on creep. These Ultralists are going down, but not without pulling up a fight. And of course, the rest of the army of Cuddlebear will be cleared. He has a healthy enough production to stay on top of his game and outproduce his opponent for now. 4 more Ultralists on the way, 7 more on the way. Look at the Snipes go through. Yeah. It is time for B to transition out of this, because these Knights are just going to get worse and worse for the Zerg player.
Yeah, and at this point we actually still don't see that Greater Spire, so I wonder if he's totally fine letting the Snipes just land on his Corruptors. Like, cool, thanks for clearing my supply, I'm just gonna make more Ultralisks.
Yeah, like this is looking not very good for B, if I can be completely honest. His creep spread is still pretty much amazing. There is no way Cuddlebear can just break through B. He has to pretty much starve him down. And Overseers are also going to be quite a powerful choice for the Knights. But we have seen a very good Blinding Cloud out of B, stopping some of these Knights from coming. Sadly, he wasn't quite able to save his army from those ghosts. 4 drones are going to fall down to a mine drop from Cuddlebear, who's still trying to get on creep, scan forward and gain a little bit of advantage in map control war. These Medivacs are going to pick up and boost away, otherwise Fungals can be a very big issue. The Infestors pulling up a little bit too forward though. No Fungals are going to be issued just yet. Here they come. The Medivacs are under fire, but it's time for the Ghosts to do their jobs. And here they come. Ultras melting down, but the Banelings are still there to threaten the army of Cuddlebear, who has lost a little bit too many Marauders. Of course, this Planetary will keep it going for the Terran player, and these Ghosts are just relentlessly getting damage. I think no Ghost has fallen. No,
yeah, yeah, if we look at units lost, we've lost 2 over the course of the whole game, but I think that engagement, all of them did manage to survive.
Still looking not very great in army supply for Cuddlebear, who lost a lot of his own Medivacs. And that is a hard... well, he has enough right now. I think he overmade them to stay on top of his... I think that was a very clever move. I was thinking he was a little bit more behind, but he really isn't. Of course, he's going to rely a lot on these Ghosts doing a lot of the job. And Bailey's trying to fight in the choke point, not going to be an easy task. 1 Widowmine gets 4 of them, and that's a very good positioning for a Widowmine. But Cuddlebear needs to pump out production a little bit quicker, because right now, okay, finally we see another round of production. It's going to be in the way of Liberators, and a Fusion Core gets dropped by the Terran player, who's now instantly maxed out basically, after being like 40 supply behind for the last minute.
Yeah, both players, were saving up quite a bit of bank. Here we go, another engagement coming in. Ling's kind of running in here. Fungals aren't around yet. Coming up from the backside, these Infestors, getting EMP'd. Perfectly, only 1 Infestor remains with any energy. And now as these units back into the choke here with the tanks, they should be able to clear off all of these units. Banelings connecting with the tank. Some Ghosts sniping down, 1 Ultralist on the right, trying to kite for their dear lives, with the rest of the army coming down. So some of those, or a fair number of those Ghosts will fall. But now we have all these Liberators. We still have a good number of Ghosts. Actually, we're down to 2. I take that back. We're down to 2 Ghosts for now. But we're adding on more and more units. 4 more Liberators in production with the 6 already on hand. So as long as Cuddlebear does a good job of killing off these Corruptors, he will be in a fine position. Snipes coming down, as well as the Stimmed Marines, forcing those back, and this hatchery is most certainly going to fall. There it goes.
Cuddlebear getting himself the damage he was definitely looking for, but the Banelings and the Corruptors and the Vipers are getting through a lot of that Zerg under these liberation zones. But clearing the Corruptors was probably more worth for B than it was for Cuddlebear. He's going to have quite a tough time remaking those in time for the next push. The B is hitting on the other side. Meanwhile, this planetary will not fall, of course, but a couple SCV will. It's time for these other planetary to do some more job. One infestor trying to get a fungal without dying, but he will fall down. And these knights have just made Ultralisk's lives hell on earth.
Yeah, it is important to note that although these players keep throwing their armies at one another, B still manages to have a little bit of a bank. And it's interesting, B has more minerals kind of chilling there, whereas Cuddlebear seems to have plenty of gas, and minerals are the constraining factor. So both players, oh, we do have the Corruptors here trying to vomit down this planetary, but with all of the snipes coming in from those ghosts and with these liberators, they should all die? Question mark? Okay, there we go. With Bio coming up underneath. The rest
looks like it was a very blindsided move by B though, because he's going to get the planetary on the other side. Of course, he has lost basically all of his Corruptors, but Cuddlebear on the other hand is going to lose one planetary, 15 SCVs. Every single base is very important right now for Cuddlebear. B has an astounding amount of archeries. Very much stronger economy as of now. Of course, getting a couple ghosts for free, it's another bad thing for the Terran player, who now has to expand again, making another orbital command to send in that location. But B, even those links gain B quite a lot of value in the way of triggering Widow Mines, and of course trying to swarm those ghosts down. These Widow Mines got a little bit too many of them, and the supply of B has fallen of 20. But it looks like it is going to be a great Baneling run by getting on top of the ghosts and the Marines and the Marauders. A really good split by Cuddlebear is going to save most of them. And Cuddlebear trying to get the minerals and the base of B here in the top left.
Having to fly away, and I think that hatchery, or the command center is actually just going to die to all of these Corruptors. Oh, maybe not.
Well, for now.
For now. Cuddlebear realizing there are a ton of Corruptors there, does land the command center.
These Widow Mines have been doing a lot of job for Cuddlebear as well, but the numbers of infestors are rising, and the caster control of B is pretty great. These Vipers are also getting a lot of value. I think he made like 2 the whole game, and one of them survived. I'm not really sure about it. Yeah, he made 3 the whole game. And he was able to keep them alive. One snipe gets on top of the last Viper as soon as I would tell him about this. But the Banelings are going to scream through. There is one planetary defending these Marines and Bio, but look at this go. The Medivacs need to lift back up. One fungal will slow them down, but the Corruptors were quite a lot far away. Not far enough maybe, but Cuddlebear is able to lift and live to fight for another day. But how many days of fighting he has left? Because B has the whole map right now.
Yeah, and creep is coming all the way across, tucking into the bases in the bottom of Cuddlebear, and picking up another one here. This is, the longer this game goes, the harder and harder it is going to be for Cuddlebear to get back in it. Now, there aren't
this is the last stand. Corruptors are getting through. Marines are trying to pull up the fight of their lives. Of course, as you were saying, there are a lot of Corruptors, so it means the army of B is not going to be very much able to kill those Marines without many more Banelings. And actually, you were talking about that bank before, the gas that Cuddlebear had, and B didn't. And it's starting to make quite the difference.
Yeah, I think so at this point. We look at, B has actually spent down pretty much everything. Cuddlebear still has a huge amount of gas, but he has all these orbital commands, so if he can kind of just get to a base, call down what he needs to, he can, get the minerals that he needs to repopulate his army.
And it's also going to be a little bit easier for him to get army supply, because probably he won't start replacing too many lost SCVs from now on. We see he's not really making any, even though his bases are not fully saturated here and there. And this probably means he's not going to make too many of them. He's going to rely on mules and just try to get gas from now on.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. Lifting off the command center that was in his natural, going to try to fly that up and take the base in the top left. And here it goes. Some Lynx trying to come in. They're going to pick off a few Marines and Marauders. Of course, this Liberation Zone will prevent the Zerg from running too much farther forward.
Don't have a greater Spire, and I don't think we will ever see one. B is trying to pull it off just what Infestor play, trying to get those perfect fungals, and this is restraining Cuddlebear to transition into some kind of Battlecruiser play. Here goes diving a little bit too forward. Once again, it's going to be up to the Planetary to defend over here. And Cuddlebear has been losing quite a lot of ghosts. He can replace them quite easily. And he's making 5 Liberators at a time. Of course, that is going to be very hard to break for B, because he's going to lose so much ground army, and then he won't be able to push on top of the Planetary fortresses. And economy-wise, B is still faring pretty well, but he kind of needs this base in the top left. His last 3 remaining bases, one is very good to go, and the other 2 are quite mining out.
Yeah, and I think B has tried to go take this base a couple times, but of course these 2 mines keep on killing the drones that go to make the hatchery. This mine is just about to finish, but of course B finally gets the spine and the spore here.
That is funny. Like, seeing a spine crawler killing widow mines is not something you see that often, right?
Oh, yeah,
great
combo.
But the snipes were a little bit better. Of course, Infestors are not as replaceable as Marines, and Cuddlebear really making something out of his own bank, trying to trade quite unevenly for the Zerg player. Of course, as the Zerg goes, his units are going to be a little bit less efficient than the ones of the Terran, so Cuddlebear is quite content of playing the long siege, leapfrogging his Liberators forward and forward. But the Zerg player can count on a heavy production value that is still netting him very good position. He needs to stand over here. Lings are trying to get some surrounds. Widowmines and Liberators are going to prevent this location from being overwhelmed. Of course, the Planetary is going to do the rest of the job, but B has to withdraw from here. This is looking very bad for the Zerg player. Cuddlebear looking strong. These Banelings and Ultras are getting some ghosts, but the Liberators are getting everything else. This base in the top left is mandatory for B right now. He badly needs a little bit more economy, because his production cannot really keep up. Well, his economy cannot really keep up with the amount of production he has.
Yeah, there is one more mine hiding behind the mineral patch there, so when these drones go in to try to mine, they are going to have to be a little bit careful. But B pushing over here, going to try to take the top left base here. Planetary Fortress wasn't quite done yet, and I think both of these command centers will fall for Cuddlebear. Not the position that Cuddlebear wants to find himself in.
But it looks like the Terran player is fighting back after all. B losing drones, losing his best mining base, and kind of needs to back off, because Liberators are not going to be easy to deal with at all. Of course, Cuddlebear also going to lose his orbital command. But what was the price for this for B? Right now, Cuddlebear quite able to replace what he had. B is trying to make Corruptors, which is never something you want to do at this stage. You basically don't want to ever lose those Corruptors, because they are pricey and they don't attack the Marines, which Cuddlebear is going to cost him to replace. Of course, if B is able to get this base that he just destroyed out of Cuddlebear, suddenly this whole engagement turns sideways and will be something better for B than it is for Cuddlebear. But as of now, even losing that many SCVs, once again, is not being that big of a deal for Cuddlebear, I think. He still has so many Liberators.
Yeah, and you know, we look at the number, we're up to 13 Liberators at this point. Now, Cuddlebear pretty much is not, he's mining off of one base that, so we got 300 minerals and 700 minerals, so it's pretty close to being mined out as well. See Spore Crawlers getting underneath these Liberators, going to force them to unsiege in the top left. And Cuddlebear coming up to try to cancel this base. Wants to clear the creep and retake it for himself.
I'm surprised he didn't try to take the bottom left as well. The engagement can start as well here in the bottom left. The army of Cuddlebear quite a lot of position, and it will fall down to a fungal. Not the best move out of Cuddlebear. He's going to lose units for free, and units are not really replaceable at this stage of the game. Of course, it was mostly Marines, but those Medivacs, you're not going to have them back, probably.
Yeah, I mean, both players very low on money at this point. This map is almost completely mined out. Looks like there's a few mineral patches here and there, with really only a few bases still prime and ready. Ultralisk trying to chase down some ghosts is going to die to the large group of Liberators sitting there. And as this hit squad comes in and tries to snipe this hatchery, they will not quite get it. That's actually pretty big. If Cuddlebear had been able to shut down the mining once again here, he would still only be mining off of that one base in the right. He is going to snipe the bottom right base. You know, with that, if the denial of the hatchery in the top left can occur, there's very little income for both players.
Yeah, both of them really out of their economies. Of course, desperately trying to take those last few bases, but that also makes them quite predictable. But these Marines, these are ghosts, are going to be killed by the Banelings after a perfect fungal for B. That was the move we were waiting all game through. Finally be able to pull it off and get basically 6 ghosts for free. And those ghosts, once again, they're probably not going to come back. Cuddlebear needs to make the most out of this, because it's starting to look rough for him without nukes and without sensor towers. He doesn't really have the aggressive power, and he doesn't really have the flexibility to move around because he knows what is going on through the map. B just has more vision without sensor towers threatening his position. He can go freely basically everywhere he wants, and nukes are not a thing here. I would have loved to see Cuddlebear nuking some bases down, because that would have granted him so much more versatility. He's going to take this bottom right base, but will he be able to hold it? I'm not too sure. Ghost getting good snipes, Liberators of course in a good position, but the Vipers are going to pull them into the Corruptors. It's not a lot of stuff fighting for both players. All of the ground army has been cleared for B, but all of the Liberators have died as well for Cuddlebear. Both players trying to live with what they have, but at this stage also 20 links. Look crazy, Cuddlebear getting almost all of the Corruptors.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe what is happening in this game. This is 35 minutes in, and you know the players have almost completely mined out the map. You know they're going back to just making mass laying. One Ultralisk was able to get kind of fit into that production cycle and turning some of those lings into Banes. Like you said, all of the Corruptors have fallen. Now, on the flip side, all the Liberators, save for one lonely Liberator, is dead. This base is going to get forced to lift off there, the one in the bottom right.
16 SCVs have fallen for Cuddlebear, leaving him at 12. Oh, what a rough spot to be in for the Terran player, who's now getting good snipes. But these ghosts cannot really fight Banelings and Zerglings. Of course, there is quite a good Widowmine field that is preventing B from getting into the last mining base of Cuddlebear, but desperately needs to expand somewhere. And B is looking to get himself the last remaining 2 bases. Of course, Cuddlebear will try to expand here in the top left. Oh my. 2 more infestors out for B as well to get those juicy fungals. One gets on top of the last remaining army of Cuddlebear, and it will explode to Banelings. These infestors paying off on themselves. One great more fungal growth leaves the army of Cuddlebear in pieces, but some of it will still survive to push the Zerg back. Another great fungal, but Banelings not getting themselves the connections they were looking for. Snipe is still threatening the
be there trying to fungal some of the
Changelings, yeah.
changelings.
Oh my god, 48 supply to 71 at the 37th minute mark. So Cuddlebear finally managing to get himself one more base. He's going to drop as many mules as possible over here and start mining back. These two gases have a lot of Vespin in it. A total of 3,000 can be get into those Vespin geysers. And B is going to lose this one more base as well. He's trying to fight back here in the bottom right, but doesn't have an army to do so. He has 2 Infestors and 2 Vipers, 3 Infestors and 2 Vipers, and 3 Corruptors. That's not an army that can take on a planetary fortress. Not even remotely.
Yeah. Goodness.
Well, this is starting to become very rough for both players. Like, any single mistake can cost them the game. Widowmines have got so much value for Cuddlebear right now. How many of those he has left? He has 5. And those are going to be very important to keep those ghosts alive for a little while longer. Oh. Of course, be trying to toy with those Widowmines as much as possible. You probably will have to drop this Overload. Yes, you will. To trigger the mine and start pushing forward, but I'm not sure about this B. I think Cuddlebear may have done... Oh, this is beautiful.
Oh, neural parasite on the mine. Okay, a little bit of a whiff with that EMP there. All of the Vipers keeping the energy, as well as the Infestors. Some nice fungals coming out, and only one real attacking unit in the Ultra List has fallen. There's, again, nothing left to attack here. I mean, there are 27 lings somewhere on the map. They are actually up to the north, so they could try to wrap around, but there are a bunch of mines in their way, and if they try to run straight through that ramp, they're gonna explode.
Yeah, and even then, like, Cuddlebear can just steam back into his planetary fortress and be content with having those lings fight where he wants them to fight. 2 more Ultralists and 1 Infestor, but my friend, Ultras were probably never what you wanted after the hold in the early game. These ghosts have been consistently melting them.
Yeah, one of these ghosts has 15 kills, and I wouldn't be surprised if all 15 of them were Ultra... Oh, yeah. All 15 were
or
Ultra.
Corruptors or Vipers or Overseers. Yeah. Any way you put it, it's going to be very important units for B. Let's pull in left and right. This is the last stand for the Zero player, I feel like. And it's just Corruptors and Infestors. Drones being pulled up into the fight. Even this Blinding Cloud is going to be used to keep the life of the drones. And right now, it looks like B was able to push the Terran back for a little while longer, but Cuddlebear has 2 extremely healthy Vespin geysers, and he can replace tech units. B cannot. Every single Infestor or Viper that falls down is permanent. Fungals whipped in left and right, and it's time for the Widowmines to do the rest of the job. It is time for Cuddlebear to get himself this game, because there is 1 Ultra, yes, but he can just back off to the planetary, and it's not going to be easy for B to fight over here, while Cuddlebear has 1 base over here in the top left, well defended by Widowmines. He's replacing his bio, and at this stage he probably doesn't feel like he needs those ghosts anymore. He can deal with the Ultras with just Marauders, save some of his gas, and maybe deny creep here in the top left to get this base, since B badly relies on the bottom right one to survive.
Yeah, another thing to point out is in that fight, actually here we go, let's talk about it after this. You know, these Marines running back, kiting the Ultimus and the Lings. Mine's gonna go ahead and land on here. 1 Ghost Snipe will go off. I think this hatchery is, this is gonna be it. Whether or not this hatchery stays up is going to determine the game. This is the last mining base. There's a run by up at the top left, but let's focus on the battle happening in the bottom right. Ulto's going to keep going forward and pulling back, kind of forcing these Marines to run up, stim, and then run away, and with that, the hatchery will end up falling. Oh, some mules. I think a little bit of manor muling happening here, but also, honestly, at this point in the game, like, he just needs the money.
Yeah.
He can't get his base over there, so I think these were actually just regular mules.
Just for mining, yes. I think so too. Like, yes, 5 orbital commands, so you can easily replace them. But 4 more infestors on the way for B. He will try to win this with just... Oh my god, Link's in the production for Cuddlebear. This is not what you want. There is one drop alert here for B.
That's the overload from the very beginning of the game with the 3 Lings in it. There's 0 workers at this point for Cuddlebear. He will be relying entirely on mining with these mules.
Yeah.
Production tab is absolutely nothing for Cuddlebear. With this orbital landing to be able to get a few minerals in here, but he has no SCVs to mine any gas, so he's gonna have to start producing SCVs. Oof. Well, this is a grueling game.
He started a medivac, so I don't know what is his plan.
Oh, okay, a little bit of a neural here, stealing this mine, gonna get a kill on it.
Oh, I missed it. Oh yeah, over here. Yeah, of course, mines are still so important for Cuddlebear. They're probably the most important thing for the Terran player who's now trying to mine out this base in bottom right, but B will commit his units into it. Those mules are quite fresh. Cuddlebear wants to keep them alive. Fungals going on top of the whole bio army of Cuddlebear, trying to retreat on top of these Widow mines, but it's time for the friendly fire, blinding clouds, and Fungal destroying Cuddlebear. Just perfect caster usage from B. Oh my god, this is looking rough. Cuddlebear, I think that B has broken him in the end.
Well, we say that, but then when you look at the units, there's only 3 Zerglings, there's 6 Infestors at this point. But Cuddlebear doesn't have the money here to repair this command center. It is going to die. He does have 3 more orbitals at the other side of the map. But at this point, I mean, B could just run at him with his drones and kill the 5 Marines. Of course, with the
he will play his logo because of the mines, but yeah. Okay, 1 mule will keep this orbital command alive, but of course it's going to be quite the expense of minerals. It's time probably for these infestors to start actually triggering the mine through neural parasite, and that's exactly what they're doing. But there is no infested terror, my friend. Those things cannot fight. They can be kited down by marauders, but Fungal Growth is going to get the best of them. What is this game? 21 supply to 23. Marauders pushing on top of the creep. It is the last stand for B. He's not replacing any of his own army. He's probably tired beyond any possible means. And this has been the 2-0 lead for Cuddlebear.
That was a hell of a game.
Oh my. Like, I don't even know what will happen from now onwards, but what a series. Just this game.
Well, let's hop back over to the NA server. Yeah, I wonder, like, after a 45-minute game like that, like, are they gonna cheese each other? Like, what's the what do you do after that? Such a draining display there.
I don't even know, because you're probably too scared to cheese and waste your advantage as Cuddlebear, and you're too scared to lose if you're B. So I just feel like they're both going to play it really safe, and I just feel like this is not going to be the last of the super long games we have yet to see, because let's all be honest, that's B's playstyle. B likes to get into super duper long games. He likes to get into the later stage, drop out his infestors, and start getting some value out of them. So I'm not even sure what to think about the next few games, because this was already as crazy as it gets. It's so tiring mentally for B to be 2-0 behind after such a game, but it's a best of 9. Cuddlebear still has to win 3 more games. Not on your best.
Alright, well, we are waiting for the players to hop over. I think they might need a quick break. They're going to run to the restroom, grab some water or something. Do all sorts of things to recover from such a grueling match.
Yeah, no better chance to tell you guys that we have a match arena code for this series as well. You can check under the title of this Africa stream that there is one match arena code available. You can click on the link, paste the code into your into Chrome or Mozilla or whatever you're using, and just use the code in the contribute section of Match Arena and increase the prize pool by 50 cents for free without any charge, just by using the coupon code.
Yeah, and the players appreciate that. We at the Alpha team certainly appreciate that, because that even though all of that money is going to the players, it shows us that, hey, the community does value these kind of events, and we know that we should continue putting them on, continue inviting these players to play against each other. So,
just for the entertainment of this series that is going on, I think it's worth for us to keep on doing this. So, Cuddlebear, gonna be back in a little while. So, what do you expect B to choose as the next map? Like, this is a hard question, I know. But...
Yeah, I mean, so the last map choice of Dream was B's choice.
Yeah.
And I believe, you know, that neither player, you know, we got to choose Golden Wall out the gate. So I'm wondering if B might go. I'm scrolling through, looking at the maps right here.
That is such a hard choice. Like,
I don't think we're gonna see Eternal or Nightshade. Could be Sim. We could see Simulacrum, maybe.
I will say this, but I'm not too sure if I'm being just a crazy man or 200 IQ. I think he will choose Everdream again.
Oh. We're not eliminating him. Yeah, I could see him choosing Everdream again. I don't know. Yeah, they can choose any map in the pool. Do we have to go through all the maps before a map gets chosen twice, though?
No, we don't.
Okay, sounds good. Then yeah, I could see that, or I could see him just saying, "Man, I don't want to touch that game again."
Oh yeah, that could be also a possibility. That's why I implied that I could be a madman, but
yeah. But at the same time, you know, Cuddlebear probably doesn't want to play.
Exactly. That's the 200 IQ play. Like, if he chooses Everdream again, like, what do you even do? Like, if I were Cuddlebear and I were to play on Everdream again, I would just say, "Heck it, I'm gonna full rush you." Like, go totally rushing him and just be done with it. Because a rush actually worked just fine in game one. Game one lasted probably 2 minutes. And yeah.
One interesting thing with Everdream, actually, but I mean, Golden Wall is the same. I was gonna say, I wonder if we'll see the proxy 3 racks again, or if it would be some sort of like 3 racks Reaper from his own base, like some sort of thing like there. I don't think it would be that, just because Everdream isn't the best for Reapers. There's only that one ledge you can jump in.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'd see any Reaper heavy play, but it could just be another one of those proxy 3 racks, bunker up your natural kind of things, get the contain and go from there. Yeah. Let's check in with our players. Looks like they're still taking a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, of course, B has shown up here in the North American server, but he's still probably making up his mind. This is a very important choice, because going 3-0 behind in this series right now would be pretty much devastating for his nerves. So he needs to get this game. And okay, so the choice has been Nightshade. And well, are you doing the lobby? Oh wait.
Yeah, I can go ahead and make it. We got Nightshade, create with Game Heart. And let me go ahead and I'll just paste it here. I don't have Cuddlebear or B. They're not in the,
oh wait, yeah, there is
channel.
Alpha. Yeah, okay. Wait a moment.
Yeah, if you just want to invite them,
I did it myself. Like, I'm going to close the lobby. Here they come. And, well, Nightshade. Once again, this is not the weirdest map of them all. Like, this map and Everdream share a lot of similarities. I think Nightshade is a little bit more exposed, but it's also way bigger than Everdream. So, it is not going to be super easy for any of the two players to get themselves a spread of bases as easy as it was on Everdream.
Yeah, most definitely. I am actually, you know, I said, oh, move, oh yeah, oh sorry.
Well,
Waiting
okay.
for beat. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Like, every one of us is like incredibly tired right now. So after the series being so tired, oh, there is a new balance boss according to Cuddlebear, and yeah, I will take a look at this after the game. I'm interested.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was quite the start to the series. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead
This
and pause.
was
Game paused.
okay. It's not a problem for. Yeah, of course, it's Russian. It's not going to be too much of a problem. So let's get
Game resumed.
into the game. Here we are spawning in the top left hand corner of Nightshade. Playing for 3D Clan, hailing from Russia. Is the blue Zerg? It is B.
And in the bottom right, currently up 2-0 in this series, representing Alpha X, it is your red Terran player, the one, the only, Cuddlebear.
Like, Cuddlebear was so tired he didn't even change his color to green. Like, he always plays as green.
Yeah.
And he forgot. That is funny. Yeah, once again, no attempt of chasing out of Cuddlebear. B taking this as careful as possible. He's sending both overloads in a proxy scouting pattern. So he's going to stay away from those pesky proxy plays. But Cuddlebear will do the same as well. Just a gateway expand. Yeah, of course, a gateway expand. A Reaper expand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know what you meant. It was a long game, okay?
Yeah. Give us a break.
All right. So I'm curious to see if the players try to go for similar compositions to last game. It seemed like B really only wanted that Spire to make Corruptors to fight against the Medevacs and the Liberators. Not interested in trying to make any Mutalisks for harassment. Not interested in making any Broodlords, anything like that. So we will see, is he going to stick with that very heavy Ling, Bane, Infestor into Ultralisk kind of style, or is there going to be something else?
By the way, I don't know if you realize, but this is a very, very specific thing to say about this game, because it's something that basically only Zerg players know about. But B has gone for the Clash opener, which is a little bit of a different way of managing your gas and your bases. It makes your third base go up quite a lot quicker. You basically don't make the third overload after your natural is done. So you wait until you're 27 out of 28 of supply. You pull drones out of gas at 60. So you're going to have a lot of later link speed, but link speed will be done in time for the Hellions, and you will have a lot more economy going on. This kind of opener is a lot weaker to some kind of tank pushes, but it manages Hellions just as fine, and you sneak in a little bit more economy through it. So as you can see, just in the supply value, like B has got himself quite a lot ahead in supply compared to his opponent, thanks to this. But link speed is not even done yet. He's now starting his overload speed as well, but he already has his natural saturated. Like, this is like a very specific build order that kind of loses against early aggression, but nets you quite a fair advantage if you just go past the 5th minute mark.
Yeah, no, and I think because, you know, in both of these games we've seen Cuddlebear, you know, hasn't gone for any of these big tank pushes, right? He's gone for like an early Marine push, and he's gone for, you know, the more standard Reaper Hellion. I think you're right that B felt comfortable saying, hey, you're not going to do a big push, big tank push against me. You're going to open standard, and I'm going to be able to use that.
And Cuddlebear is kind of doing the same. His 3rd command center, well, his 3rd orbital command actually is already done, and it's getting his production a little bit later. Just the 3rd Rex being produced after the orbital command is done, and now double NGPA, of course, to allow his army to gain itself quite a lot more strength. Of course, he also didn't wall off his natural because he was making the command center into the main, and he didn't need the supply yet. So both players greeding it out quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a greed I like to see, because he's really thinking about this, like, I really don't want to lose this game, but my opponent does so as well, so he's going to try to play as greedy as possible, and then I can do the same. And both races really do well to get a lot of greed going on. And it looks like Cuddlebear has got 6 aliens on the map trying to get some damage, trying to prevent this 4th base from going on, but the real damage has been dealt by the Liberator in the main. 4 drones are going to fall. This 1 Queen will also need to move out of Liberator range, but this flying unit will try to get some more damage. Meanwhile, the aliens get into the 3rd base. They're going to get quite a little bit more damage than B was expecting. Probably 9 drones fall in total to the 6 aliens and the Liberator. As I was saying, probably B needed to cut out a little bit of those links to squeeze in this kind of opener, but he's now getting 2 actuaries at a time. I'm not too sure, but I think he was getting... No, okay, it wasn't an infestation pit. Yeah, okay, it wasn't an infestation pit. It's Baneling speed, and everything is going quite fine for B, even after losing 9 drones. Cuddlebear going to expand as well, and the infestation pit is indeed going on for B. So I didn't actually miss it. I was just not looking at the right spot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely coming down. It is just about to finish in that main base. Now, it was scout. Oh, actually, it wasn't. It went down right after the Liberator got pushed out. So, infestation pit has not been seen by Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear's going to make a move across the map. He's going to run into some Banelings here. Baneling speed just about to finish. Oh no! All of the Banelings will fall.
Disaster for B.
Yeah.
Plus one is done for B, sorry for interrupting, but this is also an upgrade that is done for Cuddlebear, so there is no upgrade advantage for B, no way to actually dealing with those Marines properly. And right now, like, Cuddlebear is making 9 Marines at a time, he's sending tanks through the map, and B was just rushing tech. He was just trying to get as much tech as possible. He doesn't have basically anything. Baneling speed is done. So it's going to be a little bit harder to push on creep. Tanks a little bit too exposed as well. Those Banelings trying to get some good connections. Tanks falling. This is a little bit of a misplay over here by Cuddlebear, but he's still overwhelming his opponent. Sorry for interrupting you, by the way. What were you saying?
No. I think that's quite all right. And I wonder, actually, I don't know if that was a misplay. I mean, obviously losing tanks is a huge deal, but the way that he sieged them up, it kind of almost acted like pseudo force fields to keep the Banes back. He was able to kill the Banelings with the Marines as they were trying to run through the pockets in between the tanks.
That is also a very interesting way to see what has just happened, and I think you might be as right as he gets, my friend. But right now, Banelings trying to steam forward, but they were quite off of creep, and Cuddlebear knew it. He just backs off, detonates the most of them he can, and he's ready to hit on the other side. Of course, the hype is done. +2/+2 is on the way. Cuddlebear is dealing damage, but he kind of has to deal way more than this, because B has got away with a double expand. So even after losing the 4th base, he still has another one ready on the other side. Cuddlebear is trying to get on top of that because he probably knows that something is up. Now with a scan, he will see a lot of creep. He will see that this location is not that easy to push into or surround. Out of B will get a lot of damage done, but the Banelings didn't come in time for these Marines to be annihilated. It's still going to be quite some losses for both players, but it's losses that B can take. And Cuddlebear, while having a powerful economy, was pushing a lot of army and was looking to find a little bit more damage. Especially because once again, B has some very early ultras out.
Yeah, and I mean, with those ultras, he is up to +2/+2, +3/+3 is on the way, as well as the armor plating for those ultras. Yeah. And we do finally see adrenal glands coming out for the Lings as well.
Cuddlebear is still trying to push forward. +3 infantry weapons and +2 armor on the way. I think he kind of forgot +2 armor since he started just now. He was looking a little bit too comfortable with this push. I think I was probably thinking about the winning the game already.
Yeah.
A little bit like it happened in game 2, to be honest. Like, he left Alfie's army for the map, and meanwhile, B was at his doorstep with a lot of archers. This base will probably not go down. There is one, oh, actually, oh my, it will go down. 8
one
Marines.
medevac's worth of Marines die, yeah.
But it's not the biggest of deals for Cuddlebear. Oh my god, queen range, medevac goes down.
Every Protoss player in the world right now is like, see? Queens shouldn't outrange Colossus, this is unreasonable.
Yeah, that was quite nasty for Cuddlebear, and I think it's the second time we see him not being that much happy about Queen's range.
Yeah.
The gangs are going to siege up, but the choke point is there for Cuddlebear to not really enable B to fight at his terms. Of course, the Banelings were getting a lot of damage, but one tank will stay alive, and this lone Ultra can definitely not kill a 91 worth of bio army.
While this is happening, you know, Cuddlebear is trying to be distracting with that half-full medevac, pulling the army to the left side while he runs into the base in the top. This hatchery is almost certainly going to fall. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Here we go.
And I just want to go. Oh! Well, come on! Okay. And the Widowmine also gets quite a lot of damage though. I just want to go into the resource loss tab real quick. Because yes, B lost 3 archeries. But it's not like Cuddlebear is not spending a lot of gas to do this. Like 6 tanks have gone down. It's not that little of amount. Of course, Cuddlebear is way ahead right now. He's also getting his 4th base. B is trying to double expand again. And Cuddlebear is just sending more Liberators, but the Spire is on the way. And once again, probably B is just 1 tech unit away from being able to make a stand. Cuddlebear trying to push again over here. If he gets this base, this will be game-ending. 3 Ultras trying to go all the way through. But as I was saying before, there is no tank to support this push. And without a tank, this army of B can push even off creep. Of course, the Marauders never die. And it's just what Cuddlebear was looking for. GG gets cold. And Cuddlebear gets a free victory even without tanks.
Yeah, very well played by both players. I think at the beginning it was looking like B had a huge advantage with that economic opening that he
Yeah.
went for. But then, Cuddlebear kind of just making the push across the map just like he wanted to, and was able to kind of shut it down.
It's very interesting how Cuddlebear pretty much did play a very similar style, and B just fell apart to it.
Yeah. I think there's still a little bit of trying to figure like, okay, what happened that last game? How do I need to beat Cuddlebear moving forward, and
But
all that is
this is a moment in which like nerves really come into play, and Cuddlebear, a very strong player, a very solid player, on a 3-0 advantage. Man, that hurts for B. That really hurts.
Looks like we have Cuddlebear in the channel. Still waiting for B to get in here.
Yeah, we'll probably have to restart again. Like, this is a common issue with the client that I used to have as well. That when you switch between servers, it kind of crashes and you have to just start the game again.
Well, Blizzard is a small indie gaming
course,
company, so they can't afford to fix these problems. All right.
So for the fourth map, it's going to be Simulacrum.
I can go ahead and crack that open.
You
So I was
did
one
yourself?
delayed on my prediction.
Yeah, but you were right in the end.
All right.
Oh, are you doing? Okay. Here I come. So Simulacrum, I'm not quite sure B knows he can reveal maps, but who am I to tell him, right? So we're waiting for Cuddlebear to chime in as well. And well, Simulacrum, once again, it looks like B is trying to choose those maps he can defend a free base play as good as possible, like he did on Everdream, like he was trying to do here on Nightshade. But I'm not really liking how he tries to double expand so proactively, because after the double expand both at the 4th and at the 5th base location, B was never able to defend either of them, and he constantly went back and forth between losing the one or the other, and that's something that really broke the game to me.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a gamble, right? Like, if Cuddlebear hadn't pushed, then B would have just skyrocketed ahead. But, of course, Cuddlebear did push, and like you said, he was able to just whack-a-mole, hit one base, then hit the other.
It's time to get into this game, though. Or maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like something was wrong with Cuddlebear's overlay. We are going to go ahead and remake the game.
Yeah, not a big deal, though. So, of course, we have to just remake the game. Going to be the biggest of deals. I don't know what was wrong with the overlay. Probably it was a wrong console or something. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we know how Simulacrum is spelled in Russian.
Yep.
Or maybe we don't. I'm not too sure about this. Like, can you read Cyrillic? Because
I cannot.
Not.
I'm just as lost with Cyrillic as I am with Korean.
Yeah, I studied 5 years of ancient Greek, but yeah, even though the letters are similar, it still doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh wow, yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty lost on that front. I took I think 3 years of German in high school, and would not be able to hold a conversation with anyone.
yeah, it kind of happens, right?
I was able to order beer when I visited Germany, but that was about it. All right, let's get into this game here. Don't you like to kick it
Probably
off?
the most important thing you were able to do it.
Right? Exactly.
Here we are on Simulacrum. In the top left hand corner, you're looking at the base of the Blue Zerg. He's currently 3 points behind in this best of 9 series. He needs to make a stand or let it all fall. It is playing for 3D Clan, hailing from Russia, B.
And in the bottom right, your green Terran player representing Alpha X. It is none other than Cuddlebear. We'll see. Cuddlebear is, confidently 3 games up in the series. He's not going to try to risk anything, do anything too crazy. He pulled off that one proxy build at the beginning. And I think it's smart, do that at the top of the series just to make sure that B is aware, hey, I can do this. You have to be worried about it. You can't cut too many corners.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, that was probably... Like, Cuddlebear is playing a very clever series. Went for that early proxy in the first game. Got away with a victory on a very nasty map for Zerg players. Like, I don't think there is... Like, probably only Purity and Industry is a worse map than Golden Wolf for Zerg players in this matchup. And he was able to kind of get also the mental advantage to put some stress on his opponent's mind, and then he just like the avalanche effect that he had in game 2 is really dragging on B's nerves right now, because he's on a 3-0 loss streak, and if he loses this one more game, I don't think he will ever recover at all. I don't think he will be able to get game 5.
Yeah, I wonder what the statistics are on how often someone can go down 4-0 and then pull off a reverse all kill. My bet is that it's a very low percentage.
Low. Yeah. I think that it's something pretty much unheard of in any professional StarCraft main events.
For sure.
Like the most I can remember is stats going, I think it was 4-1 against Serral in GSL versus the World Finals 2018. Yes, I have that kind of memory. It was, I think, a 4-1 advantage. With also after a cannon rush on Redshift. I can never forget that game, a cannon rush on Redshift. And I think Serral was able to win 5-4. Wow. It was a 3-1 and he was able to win 4-3. It was a best of 7, not a best of 9. So, like, that, it's possible even in a finals of that stage, but it was a 2 games disadvantage. You needed to win 3. Like, B will need to win 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And that is very hard.
That is a tall order. Reaper is going to pop one of these creep tumors as well, which is not something that B wants to have happen at the beginning of the game.
Once again, Simulacrum is not the hardest map in the pool to get yourself some good creep spread. So, while being something that is very nasty, especially against early pushes, it's not going to be the end of the world, of course. It's just because Simulacrum has less surface to cover creep in, so it's going to be a little bit quicker. So, Cuddlebear mixing it up quite a lot. It's going to be a Viking opener into Banshee Cloak. He's going to prevent these Oblets from getting scouting, but then again, B was quite proficient with his scouting all game through. He went every time for Obelisk speed, and right now, just after seeing this Banshee Cloak being started, he immediately starts the lair. But you know what, I was going to call this, I was just afraid about saying something wrong. But Cuddlebear just wanted to toy with his opponent a little bit. Early lair, he's going to put B behind. His Baneling speed is going to be on time, yes, because his Baneliness is on the way. And his lair is going to be on the early side, but he's going to also lose a lot of potential into doing a lot of stuff. Double NG Bay just screams early push out of Cuddlebear for me, and B is making a lot of workers. Cuddlebear just isn't. He's now making a third command center, but I'm not even sure if he wants to actually commit too much into the economical side of this game. Of course, this build is very macro, as macro as it gets, but he has forced a reaction out of his opponent, a reaction that his opponent didn't want to be forced into, because right now a push could be very scary.
Yeah, we see that Starport did build a reactor that got swapped out for the barracks that was under construction. So we're going to see a lot of Marines coming down. Another reactor getting added on to the Starport again, probably to help with that double medevac production. But I imagine that we will see combat shields start up soon, and then a big push with combat shields +1/+1 in stim.
And Simulacrum again, as good as a map as any to go for a tank push. One queen will fall down because of these many choke points. Like, there are so many choke points to fight into. Helens will try to escape while bringing some links down. And that's always something that everyone very much likes, because that's a lot of blink slots for B. That's a lot. Like, really a lot. How many of them died? 22. That's...
Yeah, and only four of the Hellions and then one Reaper fell.
Of course, B went for the confirmation scouting with the Overseer. With all the speed, he will be able to keep it alive. And also confirm that the Banshee play was never going to come. So, after having an early lair, B was like, you know what? Let's drop an infestation pit and have a 7-15 hive on the way. And I think this is one of the earliest hives I've seen in a macro game ever. Because, yeah, of course, after this infestation pit, he's going to just start the hive. Let's all be honest. Burrow is on the way, so it could also mean infestors. But Cuddlebear is pushing right now. You need those high-tech units. Tank's going to be surrounded, and the banelings, even if slow, are going to get themselves quite a lot of connections. It's going to be a heavy production cycle out of B to replace a lot of lost units, but then again, his banelink speed is so late. So late. He could have done so much more against the push out of Cuddlebear, but then again, 2 tanks have gone down. It means Cuddlebear needs to basically reset back to the standard. He is remaking those banelings. He needs to have them as much as possible to hold this, but he's now starting the lair. It's going to be a little bit later than I was expecting, but it's still going to be a very early hive. Sorry, not a very early hive.
Yeah. And, you know, interesting to see, you know, he is still droning. He made a big swell of lings and then decided, you know what? I want to make 14 more drones. That is in production here. We'll see what he has planned after this. Roly-poly's coming in. They will... Ooh, good pickup by Cuddlebear. I was going to say, they will make some good connections here. Cuddlebear, the last second, picking up all of those Marines. A wonderful job. And Cuddlebear does have a pretty big drop here. He's got 2 tanks and almost 2 full medevacs with Marines heading to the bottom side. And I think he's going to target this 5th base here. Pushing in the top, drawing the attention of B to the top right while he lays siege with these tanks and starts pushing up with all of the Marines. Yeah, he is going to try to just power this down. Obviously running back into the tank line. These links are going to actually run by. They're going to get on top of the tanks. Marines are going to come down and have to save them. And now here come the banelings. Tanks doing an amazing job of snaring all of these banelings.
Disaster engagement for B, once again losing all of his banelings without a single one getting connection. And now, you know what? A drop in the main is going to be the rest of the job. These Marines won't just die to these little units. Banelings need to be basically wasted on a very little amount of units out of Cuddlebear, who's also going to get this archery. And this is when his must drop play can start. Taking a book out of Bomber's, taking a page out of Bomber's book. He's going to have one more drop coming here in the top side of the map. B gritting it out again and having to face the consequences of it, because these Marines are not going to be easily pushed back. There are a lot of lanes, but how many of them will die to prevent these Marines from getting the hatchery? And then again, the Queens were in a good position for these Medivacs to not get into the main, but Cuddlebear is getting ahead in supply. He's getting the upgrades he needs. He's getting a 4th base and a planetary fortress. He's basically getting everything he wants to have to be facing those archers.
I want to point out before it happens, we do have 2 burrowed banelings sitting right here, very close to these Marines. If these Marines walk backwards, you know, stutter step, trying to flee, okay, they're just gonna get surrounded, get picked up, move over here. Okay, he is gonna dodge that bullet. Even earlier, they were just outside of the explosion radius of these burrowed banelings.
Yeah, that is very nuts if B is able to pull off that kind of a play. I have seen very little players able to do something with the... Oh my god, no way. Oh my. I think Cuddlebear will go through there. Oh, let me take a close eye at what is happening here in the top side. Because this push is still keeping B pinned in this side of the map. And while Cuddlebear has a very powerful army, okay, he's not going through the ramp, unlucky for B, but there are 2 more banelings. A scan forward will stop Cuddlebear from losing half his supply to just a couple baneling bombs. Corruptors are on the way, a lot of banelings as well. This one Medivac will barely survive. For Cuddlebear, it will not survive a lot longer, but Marines are going to be dropped left and right. Some things can fall over here. These banelings were not... Oh my. Cuddlebear was on his way to lose everything he had, and B just didn't pay enough attention to it.
Yeah, very close call there. But you know, they're still there. We could definitely see those banelings come into play later in the match. You know, B obviously focusing on the units inside of his main base. I think that is completely reasonable. The army is going to see this medevac up at the top, I believe.
But B is also countering back, getting on top of the planetary with a healthy amount of lanes, with Adrenal Glands, trying to get on top of everything, as well as these pains. Cuddlebear forced to retreat his whole army to save this, but he won't be able to save these at all. Banelings will try to get some more connections. After killing 15 SCVs at this stage of the game, it's not like we're 40 minutes in. Cuddlebear cannot really afford to lose that much economy without really having a way to replace it. Luckily, he had another command center at the ready, but this means he will have less scans. He will scan over here to get the burrow paints, but this army of B is getting stronger and stronger by the minute. Links and banelings are pushing forward into the choke point for Cuddle with good stutter step backwards. Will be able to not lose too much, but the resources lost are still heavily in favor of the Terran player.
Mine at the bottom, going to pick off 14 lings. Nice little pick there.
B really getting on top of his economy right now. He's going to have 6 bases in a little while. Cuddlebear not quite able to break through this, I feel. Okay, Ultras are put backwards onto creep, but then again, on creep, this army is very hard to deal with. These archery will go down in the end. It was the wrong call, but the banelings are trying to get into the fight. A lot of marauders in the front. The splits from Cuddlebear were sick. This army is positioned exactly where he wants it, but B is expanding again in the bottom left. This guy knows how to take a beating, doesn't he?
Yeah. As these lings and banes run up, it is going to force Cuddlebear to pick up that 1 medevac's worth of stuff. The rest of the army has fallen back to the 4th base here.
So Fusion Core dropped by Cuddlebear. I think this is for Ranger Liberators, not for any kind of battlecruiser play, sadly.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be quite a factor. Greater Spire on the way for B. First time in 4 games we see a Greater Spire. And probably Cuddlebear doesn't really expect it at this time. Of course, without force production. Because Cuddlebear doesn't have any doors. He cannot produce. He can produce 1 at a time right now. It's not going to be that easy for him to deal with some surprise Brootlords.
I really like this out of B in both locations in the top right and this bottom center position. An Overlord dropping creep as well as having a burrowed ling. So it's just gonna, you know, he's like, oh, I can't land because of the creep. And then,
I can land because of the lanes. It's a good play. I always like burrow lanes. I think they're a very good and clever way to keep scouting going on and delay some.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah. Also, like at this stage of the game, it's kind of likely that you do some kind of things and then you just let them be, and then you left and oh, okay, my command center didn't land for the last 5 minutes. And I didn't know, like, it is totally something that can happen. It also gives B some time to react and maybe try to kill the command center before it can land with the Corruptors, of course. 3 Ghost Academies at a time. Yes, finally, nukes.
Now, Broodlords aren't the fastest units in the world. If Cuddlebear does a good job of zoning with these nukes, he can... We'll have to see. It'll all come down to the positioning and what these players are doing. We do see at this point we have a total of 5 Broodlords have finished morphing in the center of the map. They are supported, of course, by a couple Corruptors, bunch of Banes, and these Ultralisks.
I gotta tell you a fun trivia fact. Queens are basically able to outspeed Broodlords out of creep. That's something I found out at my disadvantage, but over here, Fungal's getting on top of the whole army of Cuddlebear, which is melting to Banelings and Broodlords alike. This is not the engagement Cuddlebear was looking for. Of course, he has a planetary over here. He has 1 missile turret. But how do you deal with the Broodlords? Yes, Ghosts. Yes. But is he able to get as close as possible? Broodlords kind of need a lot of Banelings to be able to support them. Oh my god, the Snipes getting on top of everything. Of course, the Ghosts are kind of expendable at this time. The Fungal gets on top of everything, but I fear that this was going to be worse for B. 1 nuke will be cancelled by Cuddlebear, who was going to nuke his own command center. Snipes again, trying to go on top of everything. 1 very good EMP is going to keep the Infestors from doing too much damage. But these transfusions on top of the Broodlords are going to keep them healthy, and I was just... How did he lose all of them?
Yeah, we haven't seen a single... Actually, 2 Broodlords have fallen at this point. He kept alive, you know, I think... Yeah, three of them with all the snipes going down, so very good job by B. We do have a nuke coming down at the top center base. No reaction yet. B's trying to figure out where is it, and it looks like it's gonna land. It's gonna kill all of the workers there.
14 down, not bad. Second nuke is going to be issued as well. There is 1 Spore Crawler getting in position to scout these ghosts. The snipe, the nuke will go through, but the archer will not go down yet. Over here, another engagement. Ultra's trying to push off the creep into the bridge, and Ghosts will remind B why that is a bad thing to do. And now we have also seen, I think, a planetary killing a queen, which is something very unique. The army of B is very strong, and he's starting to build up quite the bank as well.
Yeah, and I think we definitely need to talk about this creep spread, because this is very good creep spread. You know, 2/3 of the map is covered in purple goop. So B can see, of course he can't see invisible units running across, cloaked units that is. But with all this creep spread, oh no. This nuke is going to kill all the Broodlords.
Don't let this go down. Oh my god, the nuke will go through, and this is going to be a disaster for B. God. This is one of the best moments of my life.
Oh.
I've never seen a nuke deal so much damage. 80 supply worth of Broodlords and Infestors disappeared from Simulacrum after that 1 nuke. 1 more nuke is going to kill this archery over here in the bottom left. And Cuddlebear can do whatever he wants right now.
Oh my gosh, we were just giving B so many compliments on how he can see everything that's happening and, you know, respond very reactively. But yeah, if we look at this army size tab, you know, B was you know, pretty far ahead, but now he is plummeted far below. That was a huge hit.
Yeah, and it's not something you can recover from that easily. He's still struggling to keep up in supply. Of course, he made the Corruptors to have these Broodlords at the ready. He needed to remake the Infestors. 2 of them will not go down because another nuke will cancel them. We'll get 10 drones, we'll get a queen and a Spore Crawler. This is looking very, very rough for B. It is one of these moments you cannot really recover from, and Cuddlebear will need just to play this with a blindfold basically to lose this game from now on. And I'm so sad this isn't Twitch because I really wanted to have a clip to watch before going to bed every day of that one nuke.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, you can do clips on Africa. Please, make one, Canuck.
Someone clip it. Clip it.
This army of B is not really pushing forward for any more time now. The Liberators are out. One very good Fungal is going to get on top of the Ghosts. All of them are basically going to fall, but these Corruptors are also playing a very dangerous game. Once again, if the army of B is basically only Corruptors and a couple Infestors, even Banelings cannot do everything on their own. Cuddlebear will still have his ground army pretty much able to do whatever. Ultras, man, they're not a good unit. You can tell me whatever you want. I don't see how Ultras can be good after you hold with them. Like, this stage of the game, Corruptors are doing their best to keep the Liberators at bay. And there is not much more bio army going on for Cuddlebear as well.
Oh my gosh, the
God.
mine shots are huge.
Oh no,
Down
B.
all of the Corruptors.
Oh. And right now, you see Liberators fighting with Brulers. Yeah, you don't want that either. Infestors and Ultras going down. This is the party of AoE damage. One nuke getting off the army of B. 5 mines getting the other off. Cuddlebear can do whatever he wants. Again, these Brulers trying to do their best to keep B alive. But they cannot really do it for much longer. Not even that powerful of an economy was doing it. Nukes breaking B apart. And at this time, the Zerg player is just delaying his GG timing because he has nothing going on right now. His production tab is empty. Cuddlebear is pushing on creep with a bunch of Liberators, Vikings, Marauders, Ghosts, Marines, whatever you want, he has it. While B, 2 Ultras in the making, some Zerglings, but definitely not enough.
Yeah, I mean, Broodlords are very good. You get, little Broodlings for free, great damage, but it's not enough to kill all of these units. Broodlords can't look up to shoot these Liberators. Ultras can't look up to shoot the Liberators. Lings can't look up to shoot the Liberators. I think, some nukes going down. One nuke actually running into the middle of his buddy's spot. Come on, friend, good die. You're oh, okay, there we go.
Safe.
Okay. He's safe.
Yeah, my B is just probably thinking about the next game, waiting to GG out. He's just making up his mind, trying to free up his mind, most likely, to be focused for the next game. Because this is match point for Cuddlebear. 4-0 against B. Outstanding performance out of our Terran player. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't get better than this. Well, it doesn't get better than this. Like,
yeah, we've had a couple of amazing games here. First of all, that 45-minute game where basically the entire map got mined out. And then this game where we got to see nukes destroying an entire Broodlord army and then a few mines killing, what was it, like 10 Corruptors all in one volley? Whew.
I'm going to make the lobby this time to make sure it is going to be on the East server.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think, like, probably B will get himself a couple minutes to, as I was saying, free up his mind and decide what to do in its next game. It's a 4-0 advantage right now for Cuddlebear. It's devastating and dominating performance out of the Terran player, and this last game, I kind of feel it was like the nail in the coffin. Like, I don't really see how you recover from that, even because you know that you lost that game because of a big mistake you did. Because you were ahead and you had everything in your favor.
Yeah, no, I think he was so far ahead, but ultimately falling down just because of those nukes, right? He had the huge advantage with that big Broodlord army, and he was slowly starting to push in. He's going to start tearing down bases left and right.
And we're talking about the creep as well. Like, he had complete vision of the whole map.
he had control over everything. But yeah, unfortunate for our Zerg B at this point.
Yeah, it's just he has chosen Zen for this game, which could also mean he has something aggressive in mind. It's still a good aggressive Zerg map. It's still, it can be both. It can be both a great macro map for Zerg and a great aggressive one. So, well, what to say? I'm not sure what to make about this decision because I'm not too sure what he has in mind. It must be a very difficult moment in a series. You're 4-0 behind, and 2 of those games have gone very long, very back and forth. You were almost getting victories in at least 2 of those 4 games, and yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
But I mean, B is a great player. I don't think we should quite count him out perfectly yet at this time. The reverse all kill could certainly happen, and maybe we're at the point where Cuddlebear is starting to run out of steam. So
it could be.
We'll see how this
confidence can be overconfidence can be an insidious killer, as Darkest Dungeon will put it.
Yeah, hubris.
Yeah, it could coming into play. Yes, but Cuddlebear really playing solidly today. He has really a clear mind, and he's really cold in his decisions as well. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't really get too scared about some bad spots he has found himself in, especially in Game 2 and Game 4. There were those couple spots in which he was like 50 supply behind. He had Zerg in his natural or in his third base, and he held. And when you have creep under your command center and you're able to win the game, it's just something that not all players can do. Let's all be honest. It requires a very cold mind.
Yeah, making sure to not get caught up in the heat of the moment, be like, oh my gosh, am I losing here? Just saying, I know what I'm going to do. I'm sticking to the plan. I'm going to execute it, and I'm going to win.
Well, we had 2 wonderful series, one after the other in 2 days, my friend. Like,
yeah,
we're lucky, man.
Yes, this has so far been an amazing series, and then yesterday's series was also great. So I think we've been very fortunate indeed. All right, well, let's go ahead and start off introducing our players. In the top right, it is your blue Zerg player representing the 3D clan, trying to make his comeback happen on this map on Zen. It is none other than the blue Zerg B.
And in the opposing corner, bottom left hand side of Zen, you're looking at the base of the green North American Terran, currently at match point in this best of 9 series, not dropping a single map this far, playing for Alpha X. It is Cuddlebear.
Okay, looks like both players just trying to keep it very standard. Going for that hatch gas pool for B, and then I'm imagining we'll see the Reaper expand for Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear sending that SCV over. Imagine it'll get a little bit of a scout and then hang out at that third base, try to delay the expansion.
Where is he going? Okay, well, yeah, okay, he's going straight to the main. Yeah, for a moment I was thinking, is he going into the top side to proxy something? Like, I was
delayed proxy.
This can't be happening. Come on.
Yeah.
It can happen like the proxy starport to drop the aliens. It can happen mostly in Terran versus Protoss. It's not like really TVP build. But then again, you have a 4 advantage. Of course, Cuddlebear is not the kind of player who gets himself too excited and tries to cheese out the games. Like, he has won 3 macro games and a cheese game. Like, what does he have to be scared about, mostly? So he will just try to play his standard and know he can win by playing his standard. And he can do it in quite a flashy style as well.
Ooh, coming in here, gonna actually, I was gonna say getting a little greedy, trying to pick off a second Ling. But he's going to see the other queen, think better of it. And now this Reaper's gonna have to run around. Does scout that the third base was taken on the left side.
That is a very aggressive third base.
Yeah, and I think this is something that B has kind of done in a few of the games. It's just like, I don't want to deal with this SCV Reaper dance at third, having to make an extractor, do whatever.
Yeah, of course, exception made for the Clash opener game, in which you have your third archery so early that the SCV and the Reaper don't come in time. But then again, that game was a devastating loss for him, so he's thinking better not to push his luck too much.
All of these Lings will actually fall to the one Marine and the Reaper.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much, to be honest, because when the aliens come out, you need to have some Lings out, so you're just actually not producing drones out of the larva. And yeah, not a good sign. Not at all. Once again, Ola Speed is going to be the next upgrade for B, who wants to be on top of his scouting. And what were you saying?
I was just about to say Overlord speed.
Okay.
Getting there, we did have an Overlord start to push up. Kind of saw a couple things before getting issued a warning card by the Marines in the main.
Okay, wait a second. Is this about a cruiser opener?
Ooh, I don't know. We do have that very fast hidden armory. It could be that, or we do have a huge number of Hellions. He could be going for a big Hellbat push here. And sure enough, actually, these Hellions are going to turn right into Hellbats as soon as the army finishes. So they are walking up. These queens are going to say, oh my gosh, I did not see an army anywhere. Where did these come from? And yeah, these tanky boys are going to definitely get in here, force all the drones away. And there's not a lot here to stop them. We have some Banelings coming in.
Great spread out by Cuddlebear, who's now fighting strongly against what's left of B. Of course, he's going to lose a lot of Hellbats in the process, and it's not going to be Battle Cruisers, it's going to be Banshee Cloak. Once again, B was able to scout this, and this time Cuddlebear didn't cancel it. He decided to commit into it, and B will know exactly when this Banshee will fly through the map. The second one will also join in, and it is mostly to get himself the map control he needs after losing that many aliens and Hellbats, because B was threatening a very aggressive maneuver into the natural of Cuddlebear. Right now the supply is not really in the favor of the Terran player. This is some kind of opener that can put you a lot behind if you don't get a lot of drones. And while denying a lot of mining time, getting a couple queens, Cuddlebear didn't really get a lot of damage. This Banshee will try to make up for it, but as of now, just one drone has fallen, and it's really not enough. Aliens will defend the armory from being killed by that one Ling, and it's time for the Terran player to expand to a third base location as well. 11 more drones and an infestation pit. B again trying to take up as quick as possible, and this is probably the best game to do so, because Cuddlebear cannot really put up too much aggression for quite a lot of time.
Yeah, and you know, at this point we see that infestation pit, so we're probably going to see another really fast hive, and then, I mean, he's gone for it every game for that really fast Ultralisk tech, and I think that's what B is going to continue to go for. You get infestors, you know, roly-poly speed, our Baneling research, the centrifugal hooks is a little over halfway done at this point. And I think that's the composition that B really feels like it's going to work for him. Certainly the thing he is most comfortable with.
Hive on the way, infestors on the way, as you were saying right now. This is starting to get into a comfortable scenario for both players.
One queen is going to fall to these two banshees
Yeah.
on the right side. They will flee to safety here before getting picked off. And a little bit, they're a little bit trapped here.
It's
Three
not like
queens at the
it's the
bottom.
biggest of deals. Once they stay alive, they can commit later on into some more damage in the mineral lines. He's not going to lose them now. It means he can use them later on. Infantry weapons 1 and infantry armor 1 is done for Cuddlebear, who's now retreating from this very aggressive location he was sieging on. He's not really trying to toy with his opponent too much. He doesn't want to poke the beast. He wants to be as safe as possible with his own army not being obliterated, because it's a very hard to replace army right now. B was looking for a little bit of a counter with his lanes, will not find any damage, but double expanding again. He's trying to play it like this every single game, but this time Cuddlebear not really playing too much the aggressor, and this double expand could pay off.
Yeah, I actually really like something else that B is doing here. He's already mined out the center on his side of the map, and actually has a drone walking all the way to the center on Cuddlebear's side of the map, starting to mine out the mineral patches at the high grass there. I think this is really going to help him, you know, run those Ultralisks and the Lings and the Banes all around, and kind of like get on top of Cuddlebear and get to Cuddlebear's side of the map very quickly.
That is a really
great play.
nice move. As you remember, for BlizzCon, like, a player such as Cyril had his own ultras trapped in his own base and had to lose a game for it. So making sure those kinds of things don't happen, it's usually a very nice choice. The wall is open for Cuddlebear. You need to raise it. The flight even goes up, but will be exploded down by Banelings. There are a couple Marines in position, but I think that these SCVs will need to find themselves in quite a rough spot for a lot longer than Cuddlebear was. Well, not at all. 3 SCVs have fallen down. On the other side, B had to lose 1 archery as well, because Cuddlebear committed into it. So overall, Cuddlebear coming out on top of a scenario I wasn't really thinking he could do too much about. Of course, Ultras are already out. But as you have seen in the past 3 games, Ultras cannot end the game on their own. They can buy B some time to get his most powerful units. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like Ultras.
Yeah. Oh no, these infestors getting caught here. One of them will fall, the other barely escaping with its life. Lings coming in, getting us around. These Marines will have to get picked up. Actually, they just kind of fall down. I mean, if B can continue getting trades like that, then perhaps he can utilize the Ultralisks and Lings to do it. But he's got to keep these infestors alive. At this point, we look at his unit tab. He only has 1 infestor and 1 Viper. The Viper is, of course, siphoning health off of this hatchery to gain some of its energy. Production, we have another infestor on the way. Speed coming out for the Ultralisks. So, you know, B is very much committing to Ultralisks here.
Yeah, no pathogen glands from B will mean that the new infestor will not have a lot of energy to start with. Aspire is spawning on the way, as well as Ultra Speed. With +3 on the way, this engagement could go very much south for Cuddlebear, but so would be for B if he's not able to keep every single Baneling connecting with what he wants to connect. Cuddlebear currently retreating at his planetary fortress. The supply for B is getting through the roof. These Ultras are finally getting on the aggressor and doing what B wanted them to do. Base goes down for Cuddlebear. B biting back, and this could be the first victory in an incredibly rough series for the Zerg player. He has everything he needs to end this game. He's ready to make another counter-attack over here in the third base. Cuddlebear will be in position. He's replacing what he has lost. 22 SCVs have gone down. Final Liberators are out trying to deal with the Ultras. The Ultras will go past them on top of the bio. There are Marauders to deal with them. The Liberators are still standing. And Cuddlebear, incredible but true, he is pushing on top of creep. 2 SCVs will go down. Vipers are... Yeah, sorry, you're telling?
I was going to say, the Spire is finally finished, so we have 6 Corruptors in production. And the queens right now, the one queen is going to have to try to deal with both these liberators. And looks like it's working. B did send a little run by through here, breaking down this SC or the supply depot wall, picking off 5 workers. And B's keeping the aggression up as he tries to run in here to the 3rd base. These mines are going to do a great job of clearing up the Lings. The Marauders are going to try to finish off the Ultras. But more Lings are coming in here, and Fester's showing up as well as the Viper. We'll have to see the Ultralisk getting in here, getting on top of the mineral line of Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear massively losing 23, 24, 25. All of the workers have fallen here. Lings running in here, a blinding cloud out of the Viper, gonna shut stuff down. Corruptors here to start picking off some of the medvacs and this Liberator. But this base definitely is gonna have to live. And at this point, I think B just wants to keep streaming units across the map. He can come in from 2 different angles. Of course, this choke point is advantageous for Cuddlebear, but it's not advantageous enough. And B is going to take his first map in this series.
Well done by B indeed. Like, this was a very rough game for Cuddlebear. I think that after his openers, he wasn't quite cutting it for a lot of the time. Never really got himself what he was looking to get. Now we're going back to Europe, so it's going to be a little bit of lag as well for Cuddlebear. I think B could gain himself enough momentum to gain back some confidence into this series, because this one game was as much as a dominating victory as it gets for a 0 player in the matchup.
Yeah, and I think this shows, you know, this is what B has been trying to do the entire time,
Yeah.
right? This is the composition he's made every single game. His Spire was a little bit later this game, so he wasn't able to kind of deal with some of those earlier Liberators. But overall, he came out on top, and it was great. Like, he executed flawlessly and was able to take the game in the direction that he wanted it to go.
So I'm calling this right now, Purity and Industry will be the choice of Cuddlebear. Okay, Eternal or Purity?
Okay, so it looks like it is, yeah, you have to play the
Okay.
the 7. B saying, why didn't I know?
Okay. Oh, let me get into the lobby. Yeah. Okay, it's going to be Eternal Empire. Pure Terran map, let's be honest.
For sure.
Okay, they have to play all 7 first. But it's getting close to playing all 7. Like, this is the 6th one. Going to be Eternal Empire. Cuddlebear still in match point, so who knows?
Yeah, and like you said, Purity and Industry, not a great map for Zerg players. So, you know, even if Cuddlebear drops this game, he has that map to fall back on as well.
Well, Eternal Empire is probably like as bad.
It's also
as
Terran.
Purity and Industry. Like, it's a good Terran map. Like,
yeah.
Just looking at the layout here in the loading screen, like, in my head, just everything clicks in favor of Terran so much.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and kind of show it off here, and let's introduce our players. I'll start off here, spawning in the top right-hand side of Eternal Empire. It is our Zerg player, hot off of his first victory, trying to make a reverse all-kill comeback. It is B.
In the bottom left and corner, this player has won 4 in a row. He's at match point. He has lost the last one, but it is making it rough for his opponent. Playing for Alpha X, hailing from North America, it is Cuddlebear. So B is going for a little bit of an early play. Of course, double extractor trick to grant himself an earlier hatch, to grant himself an earlier pool that was built even before the extractor.
Yeah. What do you make of this?
This is weird. Like, Eastern Europe StarCraft 2 is very weird. Like, they have a whole other way to play the game, which I find really interesting, to be completely honest. And this build doesn't look like a crazy commitment into anything. I feel like it's just a way to squeeze out a little bit more, cutting some corners, and maybe it's also not really relying too much on link speed being done in time. It could be actually favoring overload speed. I don't think he will. I think he will start link speed as soon as he has 100 gas. He's keeping 2 drones in the Vespin geyser. And wait.
I do actually really like how things lined up here. As soon as that pool finishes, he was able to start both queens at the natural and at the main. And because the pool was so much faster, he also was able to get these lings over to protect and allow him to take this third hatchery before the Reaper showed up.
Yeah,
So
it's a cool play. 100 gas is on right now, 100 minerals as well, and link speed gets started. So it is going to be link speed. In the end, this Reaper, fighting a little bit more off than he could shoot, will get killed by the Queen's Cuddlebear. Not really playing the best dance he ever did with the Reaper, but he's still going to get comfortably to his to his Hellion play and try to get some damage through the map. Okay, second Rex on the way for Cuddlebear, as well as a third command center.
yeah, Cuddlebear really just leaning on these mineral heavy units, still on that one gas geyser. Has not tried to take any other gas, just choosing to crank out a lot of Hellions. Finally getting a tech lab added on here, so we'll probably see Stim start up in a moment.
Yeah, it is going to be a 2-1-1 after all. This is pure 2-1-1 play. Like, at least to me. Like, this is going to be a starport as soon as he has the gas as well. And he's going to start making as many Marines as possible right now. He's probably going to, to swap the Rex and the factory, which will probably not build any add-on for the time being. I think he needs those gas for the okay, there is a tech lab for the sub. Yeah, there is a tech lab though, so this could be also an early time push. This could be a lot of different things right now.
Yeah, I think the reactor on that factory is probably going to be used to make the double medevacs, perhaps.
Oh, it's a reactor. Oh, okay. I thought it was a tech lab. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So back to the basics. We will see everything. You will see the double Rex. He knows this is some kind of aggressive drop, and he drops the double evolution chamber immediately. That's the reaction I like the most to the 2-1-1 play. It's a very old school kind of push that kind of gets defeated by good link control and starting out early. Those +1/+1 upgrades for links, for melee and Carapace, of course, is going to net in quite the advantage. But let's see if he's indeed able to hold it. Quite on the late side, Cuddlebear will hit a little bit later on than I was thinking he could pull this off. But he's going to start some tanks as well. And how many Marines does he have? Not enough yet. He's going to have enough in a little bit. Still 3 aliens through the map to try and grant Cuddlebear some map control, some vision. And 2 Medivacs will finally go through the map.
Yeah, for sure. I apologize. I muted myself there for a second.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Don't worry.
But we do see +1/+1 and the combat shield upgrade coming out for the bio. So, I mean, even though we had the double evolution chamber, okay, we got a little engagement here. Lings and Banes trying to kind of poke forward, pull back. Centrifugal hooks are not done yet, but the Lings getting surrounded are going to force all of these units to get picked up by the medevacs. Now the unit's running up to the top side here. Okay, Baneling's a little bit too far back, and then off of creep, they're not going to be able to make those connections that we want to see for B. Bio's going to come back around to this side, possibly pick off this queen. Sure enough, the queen will fall. All this creep is going to go down. These units are going to load up and get out and fly straight up here.
Yep.
Possibly start picking off some other units.
That's Eternal Empire for you.
Yeah, abusing all of these ramps, these ledges. Good job by B leaving the Banelings on the low ground so that Cuddlebear couldn't immediately just unload on the other side, continue kiting.
Here comes also the second double medevac drop from Cuddlebear. He's going to get to a total of 4 medevacs and a bunch of marines and a tank as well. This is a very interesting moment for him to push through as well, because Baneling speed is not done yet. Baneling speed is not even started. Okay, Baneling speed is just
it just finished. It
Okay.
just finished, yeah.
Okay, just finished. But there are 3 infestors on the way, 3 infestors are out. There is a hive on the way. This is as good as a moment as any for Cuddlebear to deal damage. With the tank being positioned here on the ramp, it's going to be very hard for B to keep this archery alive. He immediately cancels it, but this tank is now shooting at the drones in the fourth base. The good surround of B will prevent any more damage from coming, but Cuddlebear can just lift up and bring more army into the push. B needs to replace this army as quick as possible. He cannot really get his hive tech units. He could drop an Ultra Cavern. He has the gas to do so. This one infestor trying to get a good fungal. He gets a very good fungal. This is very good for B. With the tank falling down as well for Cuddlebear, I feel like the Terran player is not really in the best of these games right now. After winning 4 in a row, he's not really looking strong. B getting ahead and ahead, not in supply, but in everything else. There is a 4th base on the way for Cuddlebear. Right now, the wolf will probably go down, and it's time for some SCVs to die as well. This Baneling's getting 21 SCVs down, and this is devastating damage for Cuddlebear, who's now beyond 3 digits supply, at least for a little while. He's going to lose 1 more tank. He's going to lose more SCVs. Lings everywhere. Lings are starting to get into the main as well. But it's time for Cuddlebear. Yeah. Infestors diving a little bit too forward, but it's still not going to be enough for Cuddlebear. Getting those 2 infestors was nice, yes, but 27 SCVs have gone down right now. Of course, you may say, yeah, of course, Terran just got mules. But those are SCVs you need to replace. And that is money that is not going into your production. Right now, just look at the production tab of Cuddlebear. He's making just 1 Marine and a Widowman at a time. He needs to replace these his economy loss real fast. He's trying to push on creep. Of course, he's going to have the advantage in army for a little while, after B committed a lot of his own army into the push, but there is just 1 tank. He's not going to get enough. Baneling's getting connections left and right. These Widowmans are going to keep a lot of these Marines alive, but it's time to for the Ultras to do their job, and their job is to keep the Zerg player from dying to just Marines. And that is exactly what is happening. Cuddlebear splitting his medivacs as well to have 1 more counterattack possibility. He's kind of recovering the loss in economy, but the tech is just not there yet. Drilling close mines, 2 Liberators at a time. Is there a fusion core out? No fusion core for Liberator's range, and this 4th base will never land over there.
The medevac in the top is going to unload, but an Ultralisk will force most of the Marines back into the medevac. But now we have these Marines unloading here in the middle lane. Now they are pretty red, so they're not going to be able to do too much stimming. And ultimately all of this will fall, only picking off 2 drones for their trouble. Not really worth it for Cuddlebear.
We also ready to strike back at Cuddlebear's 1st base location. He's getting his supply quite through the roof. 165 to 136, and most of it, to be completely honest, is workers. Yes, but there are a lot of Banelings trying to get through. This Widowmine will not even get a single connection before being exploded, and it's time for the Marines to do their job and keep this base from going down. 5 Ultras here in this location. Marines fighting in the choke point, never what you want against Ultras. Not even the Liberators can do enough. A lot of Marines will go down, and the Ultras will retreat backwards. But then again, The engagement went so much in favor of B that is outstanding. Of course, the resource loss step is going to be in favor of Cuddlebear, but it's just because that's how Zerg works. And B has such a strong economy, he can't afford himself to lose so much. He has double the economy of his opponent, basically.
Yeah, I think at this point too, we were talking about in the other game how good B's creep spread is. He's already half of the map is just about covered in purple goop, giving him great vision, and he's able to keep on denying this command center just because he has that nice little creep road to get his units here quickly.
But now another great engagement out of B. Fungal into Baneling connection, destroyed a lot of Marines. And even though he's trying to bite back Cuddlebear, he's not even close to being maxed out, while B is getting ready for the final push. Here he comes. B getting on top of that ramp. Cuddlebear needs to lift off and try to fight next to the Liberators. But is there enough Terran? I certainly think not. These Ultras trying to not fight the Liberators before the Corruptors chime in. It's time for the Ultras to get into the battle. These Liberators getting a lot of damage, and not before the Corruptors can do a lot of damage as well. GG gets called. B will get a second game in the series, and this is starting to look very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we started off, we were saying this is going to be really tough, that B had to win that fourth game, otherwise it was going to be really hard, but he's showing us, like, nah, he can drop one more map and then just go for the reverse all kill. Very strong. We'll have to see if he can keep this momentum up.
Of course, it's going to be, as you were saying before the game, it's going to be Purity and Industry. Not an easy map for their players to do their stuff onto, so... I mean, Cuddlebear can still pretty much do a lot here in this map and close it out here. But if he loses this one, then it can become quite a tricky series to close out.
Yeah. Were you going to make, or I can go ahead and make the lobby.
Oh, I just made.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I was going to say I'd have to, I went in and, changed my priorities for East Coast. But,
let me host it again,
just did.
because I don't think Cuddlebear was here to... Wait.
It looks like actually we're gonna have B go ahead and host it.
I probably didn't know I was European, so... Well, it makes sense anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe it's also like that kind of, trying to be... I don't know how you say it in English. Scaramantic, I think. Probably it's not the word.
Yeah.
Superstitious, maybe, like.
Superstitious. Yeah.
It counts.
Superstitious.
Yeah.
Totally.
And maybe he won the 2 games he hosted, then he's like, okay, let me do this every game.
Next, we're gonna have Cuddlebear let me host.
Cuddlebear is going to play as red as well instead of green. Maybe it's like some kind of...
Yeah.
After game 3, he won so bad in game 3 while playing as the red Terran. Maybe he wants to play as the red Terran again.
Mm-hmm.
The players are ready. Okay, he switches to green. So, no mind games going on with the colors.
I think that red one was just because it was just such a long game prior to
he just
slipped his mind afterwards.
I mean, who wouldn't have forgot it? Like, let's all be honest.
Yeah. All right, and away we go on Purity and Industry. I just have I have a fun fact to mention after we introduce our players. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our first player here?
Of course. Let's get into it. Oh, the score. Let me fix the score real quick.
Oh,
here, spawning in the Purity side of Purity and Industry, top left, of course, is the blue Russian Zerg. Playing for free decline, aiming from Russia, it is B.
And quite appropriately spawning in the Industry side is our green Terran player from Alpha X. It is Cuddlebear.
And I already know what you are what you want to say. Like, it is like the 10th time in a row that the Tavern spawns in this side of the map. How is it even possible?
So, yeah, we've casted quite a few games together recently. Most of them have been TVPs, but even on this TvZ, it seems that anytime we play on Purity and Industry, the Terran player is always, without fail, the one spawning on the Industry side.
Yeah.
We've got the little rates here, so maybe there's some sort of slight game bias.
Yeah,
maybe
of course.
maybe this is me getting superstitious. Who knows?
Well, you know, Protoss is the purity. Well, Zerg is the purity in essence race, while Protoss is the purity in form race. So it's quite fitting that both races end up being in the purity side. But Cuddlebear is going for his crazy wall-off we were looking at a little bit ago. I don't know if you remember Cuddlebear going for this kind of wall here in the natural, but it's also a free Rax play, and that's going to be quite a lot of Reapers. Second gas is on the way for Cuddlebear. No sign of a factory, no sign of a natural. I think Cuddlebear wants to pull off the free Rax Reaper rush with a bunker going on here in the main of B. That was a little bit optimistic. I feel like there is one Reaper over here, but this SCV is trying to run for its life. Well, will it survive? Will it though? Oh my god, this Reaper trying to do his best to keeping the SCV alive. The SCV will indeed not fall, at least not yet. The Queen was looking forward to get it, but this bunker will never go through us here. For the Terran player, B already getting a third base up, while Cuddlebear is trying to raise his Reaper's numbers up, and right now it's pretty clear for B that this is going to be a full-on Reaper rush. One Reaper falls down, and the bunker wasn't even cancelled for Cuddlebear. Of course, minerals are not a big issue in this kind of build orders. You kind of go on with your build once you have the minerals to do it, because you're going to basically spend all of your gas. Because you're all trying to fight here in the natural. Of course, Cuddlebear needs to be careful not losing any of those. Any loss can be quite game-changing. This Reaper will be left at healing back. Meanwhile, the rest of them will try to fight with the Queens and the Lings. A third Queen gonna be out. Almost
barely keeping that other Reaper alive here.
Oh my god. 3 health points. Staying, and it's more Reapers coming through. This Queen is in serious danger after being transfused. The other will survive. One Reaper goes down, but the Reapers will need to use their grenades to stay alive. 2 of them will fall, a total of 3 will fall, and this is looking so bad for Cuddlebear right now. He's trying to make more of them. He's trying to clamp their numbers up before sending them through the map, but this is not the best 3 Rax Reapers I've ever seen before. Tech Lab on the way already for these Rax, and this means that probably Cuddlebear will try to get some tanks for defense and will stop making these mass Reapers and transition into the later stage of the game, while B lost, I think, 1 Queen. Yes, 1 Queen and 6 Lings. The unit's lost stab is quite unfair towards Cuddlebear. Like, it's really rough.
Not doing what he wanted. I think he was hoping it would be the other way around, right? You know, he can run in, pop off the Queens, keep those Reapers alive, but yeah.
He never
doing
quite
an amazing
went that
job
way,
of holding.
Yeah, B really looking strong. Like, it must be so difficult to stay alive after being behind 4-0 in a best of 9 series. And right now it's looking to get one more game. This Queen will not survive to tell the tales of this incredible exploit, incredible feat that B is doing. But these Reapers on the other side, they are starting to get some more damage. They will indeed fall down to these Lings, starting to get some crazy surrounds as well. And once again, I feel like this engagement was not favorable to Cuddlebear at all, losing 600 fast spin gas this early in the game. It's very rough.
Yeah, that sets your tech back quite a ways. You know, he has one thing to note. He did force out a fair number of Lings, but I just don't think it's quite enough.
or will fall down in the main base of Cuddlebear, while these lings are trying to destroy all the rocks they come across through the map. These rocks are one of the main reasons this map is such a better map, and be of course committing some of his resources into keeping those rocks out of his game plan. Later on the way, it is still going to be a very powerful economy, the one Berserk has, even after being forced into so many units. But Cuddlebear is getting ready to do something on his own. Steam is done, Combat Shields is on the way, and a couple of Medivacs will come streaming through the map as soon as he feels like trying to deal some more damage.
One interesting thing about this map too is because of the close distance by air, I could totally see Cuddlebear just boosting these medevacs over, dropping in the main. As soon as the lings get in there, he can just go land at that 4th base, and do a lot of damage. And that looks like that is actually exactly what Cuddlebear is going to do. He is sending this over. Perhaps he'll start on the low ground at the 4th. Now, B does see this, right? He has the ling at the tower.
Not for long.
Not for long.
Melee attack is almost done. This is going to be quite a boon for B into dealing with this. But of course, these marines have been dropped into the main. They are scanning for creep, and they will steam forward to try and get some damage. +1/+1 is done for Cuddlebear as well. There is no combat shields yet, but this location is so exploitable. Purely Industry is such a bad Zerg map. I cannot even look at these Balins not deal any damage. More Balins are going to be on the way. Centrifugal, oops, is almost done, as well as combat shields. And yeah, this is starting to look rougher and rougher for Cuddlebear since Hive is almost done for B, and this is going to be quite a lot of answers that B will have to the push that Cuddlebear is preparing. He's sending Widow Mines, a lot of Marines, plus the infantry weapons is on the way, but it's going to be up to Micro. These Widow Mines need to get some crazy shots, and they will not get those. Widow Mines getting just a couple lanes. These Marines trying to steam forward, get on top of the Banelings that are trying to go off creep. But more Banelings are on the way, more lanes are on the way. Cuddlebear doesn't really have much going on at the moment.
Yeah, he finally has kind of landed that command center at the 3rd base here, and he's transferring some more workers over, so mining will commence at that location. But at the same time, we see B taking his 6th hatchery.
That is quite a lot of economy. These Marines will find themselves trapped and need to lift off, but that's a good moment to get into the main this map. Like, oh my god, who had the idea to create this map? This matchup is so unfair. Cuddlebear is able to get a hand-in supply after one of the worst execution of 3 Rex Reaper I've ever seen. 14 drones down to this push out of Cuddlebear. That is devastating damage. And he's still going for it. More things will, well, more drones will fall, but that was a crazy good fungal. Getting down 1 full medivac, thanks to the queens. Of course, needing to go through the inhibitor zone as well wasn't a good thing. But Cuddlebear has 3 more full medivacs ready to get into the main. And I don't know, but the next target could be the Hive.
Yeah, I think he's going to definitely pick off some of these workers first. But this is quite a bit of stuff. We do have 3 mines mixed in with all of these Marines. If the mine's going down, if the Lings try to run in through there, okay, no, they are a little bit out of position.
He needs to hold what is going on in the main base. He's sending part of his army back home. Widowmine's gonna get almost all of the Lings that were sent into the main for B, and these Banelings are going to be not dealing the damage. They were looking for 1 Marauder, trying to trick as many connections as possible. These Banelings will be as careful as they can. The Widowmine will go down, but so will this 1 Queen. And look at the big Ultra getting out of that small egg. On the other side, Cuddlebear still in the 4th phase. Relentless aggression. Yeah, Kanak went away and B won 2 games. He turned back, he come back, and B was definitely winning this game. And as soon as Kanak said that in the chat, Cuddlebear started destroying his opponent.
Yeah, Kanak, the good luck charm here.
Yeah, the good luck charm, exactly. Cuddlebear still pulling B apart. But you were going to say something, weren't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say that Cuddlebear was starting to catch up in the economic realm of this game. Of course, B, once the aggression let up, B was able to put in a huge round of drones. So we do see B pulling back ahead, 88 workers to the 70 or 69 of Cuddlebear. But there's a big push coming over here, and I think he's gonna shut down this fourth base once again. Great fungal here at the lower army. Now, those infestors are going to have to run up here. Base not even getting canceled, just getting killed outright. 12 workers have fallen thus far. And Cuddlebear's going to continue running in. He's going to get the infestation pit. These mines are going to... okay, they were thinking about going in for the workers, but they're going to burrow here so that they can kill a bunch of lings instead. Great connections clearing all of the lings. And now with the bio units on the ramp, could have been a decent engagement against those ultras. Cuddlebear deciding he doesn't want to lose anything, though. He got some good damage in there relatively cheaply, so he's going to pick up and fly away. At the same time, he does have a mine going down at the 5th and 6th bases. One connection here, another good connection there, and now Cuddlebear is almost caught up in the worker count. 69 workers to 70.
And it's not like he needs those numbers to be close, because yes, he's almost maxed out, he has mules at the ready. And, well, what B, all he has is these units under here. He's also going to lose one infestor. These Banelings are going to be cancelled. A lot of archers are falling left and right. It's time for the Corruptors to chime in and try to do some damage of their own. But archers are falling, Banelings are falling, infestors are falling, and the main base of B has also fallen. No high, no gain. GG. Cuddlebear gets the series.
Yeah, I think B did an amazing job of trying to stage a comeback there, though.
Yeah.
He was down 4-0, ended up picking up 2 games in the middle there, finishing the series off 5-2. And even though 5-2 seems like there's a big disparity, a lot of those games were very close. I mean, we had that 45-minute game where the entire map got mined out. We had the one game where I think B was winning until the nuke landed, killing all of his broodlords. And then mines picking up another 10 corruptors. So, great match between these two players.
Yeah, I think they were incredibly evenly matched, playing a very clever way of playing StarCraft that we've seen like right now on the Discord. I just want to highlight this because, maybe you watch this guy play, and you don't know how nice of persons they are. And Cuddlebear just typed in the chat in Discord. He said that the B has played a great series. And that this build is a great build. You want to play with him more. He wants to custom train with him and get more into the nooks and crannies of this way of playing the game, which is like such a unique way of playing Zerg, to be honest. Trying to rush tech while keeping up a lot of defensive units, and it was a great run. Let's all be honest. Cuddlebear deserved to win, but not by that far of an amount. The score is a little bit unfair towards B.
Yeah, it doesn't fully represent how close those games were and how well B played in the series. But great job to both players, and congratulations again to Cuddlebear. For those of you in chat, the Matcherino is still there, so please head on in, click on that link in there, type in the code, and make sure that you contribute that money. It's completely free to you, helps support the players, and helps make sure that events like this can keep on occurring.
Well guys, it has been all for today's stream. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Of course, thank you very much for my co-caster. Always an incredible pleasure casting those series with you. And thanks to the players, to the organization, to the sponsors, and to everyone involved in the organization of these great games. Before ending the stream, if you want to tell everybody where they can find you, please do so.
Yeah, you can definitely check me out at it's going to be twitch.tv/itsf=ma, so that is ITSFEQUALSMA. I'll probably be doing a little bit of streaming later this afternoon. I know TSL Cup 5 is going on, so I might cover some of the North American qualifiers. And where can everybody find you?
Well, my name is Agontistas, as you can read in the chat. I'm Legends of Runeterra, a top tier player, so I mainly play card trading games if you're interested in those kinds of things. I play in a lot of tournaments, quite a lot of success, like to pick 100 in Masters, so, which is basically Grandmasters of StarCraft 2, so top 100 in Europe. And for anything else, you can see more from me here on this channel and of course on twitch.tv/alphaxsc2, which is our Twitch channel, where I'm going to cast and spend most of my quarantine days there watching games and talking to a lonely monitor in front of me while you keep me entertained with of course typing in the chat and these games just being incredibly amazing. Once again, thank you to every single person who was involved in this, and again, congratulations to Cuddlebear to get this Best in 9 series. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time, and make sure to get into my buddy Fickles MA stream for the TSL 5.